around the world online at sports56whbq.com. Take us with you everywhere by downloading the Sports 56 app. And at home, just say, Alexa, play Sports 56. Wherever you are, stay tuned in to real sports talk. Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Start your day with Sports 56 Mornings with Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy. Weekday mornings from 7 to 10, right here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, and W253 DF Memphis, Flynn Broadcasting Stations. It's time for Sportstime on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. The first hour of Sportstime is brought to you by Lexus of Memphis. Here are your hosts, Brett Stats Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Welcome into Sports Time on a Tuesday afternoon. Bryant Dacus, Brett Norsworthy, Johnny Hill with you for the next 3 hours, and a lot to get to over these next 3 hours. Grizzlies were in action last night. We had a couple really good college basketball games last night, some good college basketball games tonight, so really, really busy. But, Brett, how are you this afternoon?
Brian, I'm doing well, and for the Grizzlies, I'm afraid for the next 2 months through the end of the year, it's going to be a lot of the same conversation. The topic's not going to change a whole lot, and really for the next real burst of Grizzlies great news, I guess would be ping pong ball night.
Yeah, no, I mean, not much before then. You know, you'll get some small fun things. Like last night, we learned because of injuries, Vince Williams Jr. is going to be in the Rising Stars game, which will be fun during All-Star Weekend. But it's going to be small things like that, nothing big. And yeah, the next kind of big news, big anything will be, where are the Grizzlies slotted to draft? I don't want to say where are they going to draft because there's the conversation of will they draft or will they try to trade out of it and get a piece, but that's kind of the next big date.
That is, and around that date we'll be asking rhetorically mostly, who do they send as their representative? I'm going to say right now, you've got to send what's going to be the face of this franchise, I hope, for the next 10 years. That's got to be Ja Morant.
Yeah, that'd be fun. I know, a lot of teams like to send the current player and fun to kind of get their face out there, and that'd be cool if they did that. Yeah. And
I sure didn't think we'd be on ping pong ball night for a long time.
No, I don't think many people going into this season thought we would be saying in the middle of February, next big date is where are the Grizzlies drafting in the lottery. Nobody had that. That wasn't supposed to happen this year.
And this is not the year with the super player, Mr. Maine, next year.
Yep.
The state of Maine, not Six Maine.
He could be, though. Maybe another rough season. He's
going to be,
Maine.
Well, golly, boy. Shudder to think about that.
Oh, yeah, no, don't think about that. But, yeah, I mean, a lot of people looking at this draft is kind of a weaker, especially towards the top, weaker draft. Some people saying maybe depth. You've got things there in terms of depth of the draft. But, yeah, there's not a star-studded guy that really sticks out in this draft like we've had in some of these previous draft classes and what we'll certainly have next year with Cooper Flagg.
I'm going to call my May shot now. I want Ja Morant to be the Grizzlies representative at the lottery, and whatever pick it is, I'm not saying be this, but be in contention for Rookie of the Year next year.
Yeah, well, that would be great.
Be in a conversation.
Yeah.
We don't need another 9th, 10th man.
No.
We need somebody that can contribute.
Yeah, certainly. And so that certainly if you're up top and the top 5 or so where the
right.
Grizzlies are projected to be right now, you want a guy that's going to come in and make a statement in his first year and is in that conversation. And, like you just said, this isn't like this year where you've got Victor Wembanyama and then a guy that was injured all of last year in his rookie season and Chet Holmgren, and it's pretty much just those two in terms of Rookie of the Year race. It seems like it could be pretty wide open next year. So, you want someone that can come in and contribute if the Grizzlies do decide to stick with their pick.
Someone that can, be significant, not just, another developmental year of kind of thrown away.
Yeah. So we'll have to see. It's still a long ways away from lottery night, and kind of sad to think that that's what we're looking forward to is the lottery and where
Gosh,
the
we're
Grizzlies.
kind of doing the May show now. I wonder if
Get the
people.
mock draft out.
I wonder if people what the temperature would be out there, especially if he led his team to at least the Elite Eight, but certainly the Final Four, and was clearly top 2 or 3 player in the NCAA tournament. I wonder what the temperature would be for Grizzlies fans for Dalton Connect.
I think he'd be fine. If he's played his way certainly up into a first rounder, mid first rounder. If he continues this kind of hot stretch he's on, certainly could be a guy that you're looking at in the lottery. And I think, with what he's shown this year at Tennessee, I think there'd be a lot of people that would be very excited for what he could bring to the Grizzlies.
Now, his Tennessee connection's not selling 5 more tickets.
No, not at all.
I mean, he sells no more tickets than Alexandra Sarr.
No, not at all. But no, I think, with what he's shown this year in SEC play and how consistent he's been, game after game, and, kind of this revelation. No one, not many people knew who he was last year at Northern Colorado. He comes here and, day one at Tennessee, stands out and is their best player and probably SEC player of the year. So, no, I would certainly be for that, and I think a lot of other Grizzlies fans would be.
I'll take anybody that makes the team better, and this time next year be on the way easily to something in the 50s as the win total, and at the very worst, a 4 seed. College football news today, and we'll talk a lot of college football at 4 o'clock like we always do with Brent Beard. $7.8 billion deal signed for 6 years after these next 2, after 24 and 25. So we have a little more certainty. We're still waiting to decide or to find out. They're going to decide whether it's 12 teams or maybe even 16 teams, and just exactly how much might be played on campus. And our friend Pat Smith at Jocks, he tweeted out that he thought in that deal and it's entirely ESPN, ABC ESPN, but he thought they might potentially farm some of those games out to Fox and to streaming.
Well, Brett, you were the one that said that you think not in that deal
for next
year that we could have a game streaming, and
I think that Friday night game next year, and it's total guess, supposition on my part.
Well, I mean, it wouldn't surprise me at all. I mean, you've seen kind of everything that's come out with streaming over the last year or so. Now we know that all of these big television services are going to come together and make a whole sports streaming service. So I wouldn't put it past them at all, and certainly for the next round of deal for the college football playoffs, I certainly would not put it past them doing a stream only game.
And the NFL over the weekend really kind of lost in all the Vegas Super Bowl 58 hubbub. Another playoff game next year will be on Prime, right?
Yeah, and so Prime, they NFL is certainly taking advantage of kind of this Prime deal, and Amazon certainly likes it with the Thursday night games, and then we got the Black Friday game last year, and then the playoff
the Peacock
game.
Playoff game.
That's right, and so with Peacock, and so sounds like the NFL really likes the streaming, and for the NFL, if these companies are offering that up and saying we'll pay this much for a streaming game, I don't knock them for saying, sure, we'll take you up on that. And so, it sounds like streaming is going to be very big in the future of sports, and we've kind of started to come to terms with that a little bit.
Yeah, and they're really kind of just making us kind of crawl a little bit before we walk. I mean, they're doing piecemeal boxing, and it hurt boxing. It went from over the air to pay-per-view overnight. You either had to go to a closed circuit event or pay for it at home, or you weren't getting it. You weren't getting it at all, and it did it overnight. The NFL is kind of slowly, making us learn how to walk a little bit with this, and 123 million viewers of the Super Bowl. Whew. Just take it. Get this in your mind right here. That's a third of the country.
It's crazy.
we can't get a third of the country to agree today is Tuesday.
No. I don't know if we can get all three of us to agree that today's Tuesday. I almost said today's Wednesday. I don't know, but
I'm pretty sure it is, Johnny. I think it's Tuesday. I don't know. It's up for grabs.
Hey, I'm pretty sure too.
Maybe.
Brian had me thinking. Wait one
I'm
second.
on the
Wait.
fence.
I'm scratching my head a little bit. 123 million. If overnight, if and they're not going to because they have deals signed, but if overnight the NFL said next year all streaming, all pay per view, wonder how many of those would buy
I think a lot
to
would.
consume.
I think a lot would.
I do too.
And I think you saw that with this past season when they switched their Sunday ticket package from DirecTV to YouTube TV, and that did not stop anybody from going out there and getting Sunday ticket. Everyone kind of learned everyone learned at the same time how to use YouTube TV, and I remember it like first weekend of NFL, like everyone's like, okay, they have this going for them, and this YouTube TV has this and that and that, and then like some people were like, I've had YouTube TV for 2 years, and we already knew this.
It's all you know.
News. And everyone's learning it because everyone just set up their YouTube TV just for Sunday ticket. I was one of them.
I would imagine most people, I'm going to use under 30, that it was no news for them for YouTube TV. But I would imagine most of them were thinking, everybody else is not consuming like this.
Yeah, for sure. And
I mean, who still getting it from the cable company?
Oh yeah, absolutely. And so it's so different now, and it's changed really, really fast in terms of years. And I'll be honest. I got YouTube TV first time ever having YouTube TV for Sunday ticket. I won't be getting rid of YouTube TV now. I like YouTube TV a lot, and I would have never used it if it wasn't for Sunday ticket.
That's true because the same thing happened to me.
Yeah, it's good. YouTube TV's good.
Yeah.
So 30 and under very used to it. I would say most of 40 and under very used to it. What's the line of they're the ones we've got to convince? What age and up?
I would probably say 50 and up. Maybe a little.
I might even go higher.
Really?
I might even go higher.
Wow.
I agree with Brett.
Wow.
I really may. And the NFL knows with that group, 60 and up, they can either learn or actuarial tables get them.
Yeah, you're right about that.
That's a great point.
I don't mean too bad, but
yeah, but kind of too bad. Yeah.
It's called life, and it's called death.
Yeah.
You can either adapt or we'll move on without you because we will be without you.
Yeah, I don't think. I think the NFL could do without the 60 and up crowd. But I think with the NFL, we talk almost every single week about this is what the NFL did this weekend in terms of numbers. This is what this did. This is what that did. I mean, if any sport can do, we're going to go a lot of streaming. It's the NFL, and they can get away with it because people are going to go out and get Amazon Prime. People are going to go out and get Peacock. People are going to get out and go get YouTube TV after having DirecTV just for Sunday ticket. They're going to go out and seek out the NFL, and you just don't get that in really any other sport.
Yeah,
and we can do just fine without you.
Yeah,
exactly.
And Brett, you made a good point. You were talking about the NBA ratings compared to like NFL. The NFL just put out a great product, so people is going to want to get that no matter what.
Exactly.
So people want that product. Like the NBA, they play too many games and stuff, but like the NFL is a specific day, time, and everything. Like people want them.
Exactly.
Yeah, and
you got such a shorter window for it.
Yeah, and so no, I'm not surprised at all that the NFL is going to continue to go with games that are streaming only. I'm really not surprised that college football is looking at a streaming only game for the college football playoffs, because when you look at all the numbers that come in at the end of the year, at the end of quarters, stuff like that, in the fall, it's NFL games, it's college football games, it's a lot of space, and then it's everything else. I mean, those are really what lead it. And so these companies know that we can get away with doing the streaming, and people are going to go out and get subscribers. I forgot the number that came out after that Peacock game, but it was like this incredible number of people that subscribed to Peacock that week before the game, just because they knew, well, this is the only way I can watch it. I'll go and pay this $9.99, whatever it is, just so I can watch this one game.
Yeah, and with that conversation, and we had that once before, and I said I would love to see the retention rate, and I bet there's a number. You know, in the bean counter world,
absolutely.
with that they had a number of, is this worth it if they just sign up for a one-shot deal like a lot of people did for pay-per-view for boxing.
Sure.
That's the only way you could consume it. There wasn't really anything lasting about it, but this is, and we'll see. Now this year. In baseball, you're still going to have like your Fox Midwest, Bally Sports Midwest, but this is about going to be the end of it. Next year, I wonder how that affects baseball, because baseball greatly depends on 60 and up.
Yep, no, you're right about that, and with everything going on with Bally Sports, everything that's going on with the regional broadcast packages, a lot of things are about to change with how we view baseball.
It is, and this will be really the last year of like kind of regular in-home TV for a lot of baseball teams.
Yeah, and that's a really good point, because that is the markets that are so very different in terms of age when it comes to like the NFL, football, and baseball. I mean, we know it's an older crowd that is there for the entire stretch watching those games day in, day out.
Just stereotyping, and I know it's dangerous, but just your guess. Who do you think between the Braves and the Cardinals have a younger viewing audience?
Braves.
I don't think there's any doubt.
No, not a doubt at all. It's definitely the Braves, easily, I think.
Rangers and Astros.
Ooh, I would probably say Astros.
Older or younger?
Younger.
Okay.
I would think. I don't know. But
Dodgers, Yankees.
that's a good question. Dodgers.
Push.
Pretty close to a push. Yeah.
Yeah.
Out of all the ones you gave, that one's the closest
Yeah.
to a push. But if you made me stand on one side of the fence, I'd probably stand Dodgers, but not by much. So no, it's gonna be very interesting to see how things change over the next couple of years. Not just with those sports, but in terms of sports in general when it comes to streaming and how we digest these games. But let me set up today's
$7.8 billion. $7.8 billion. I mean, just out of the thin blue sky, that kind of number.
Unbelievable. Yeah, they broke it down at $1.3 billion per year. I think the current one they're on is like 680,000 or something like that, or million, something like that. Like it's way more in this next deal
just
than
massive.
it was. I mean, it's incredible. But hey, when we talk about this country is a football country, I mean, they can pull that type of weight. Well, let me set up today's show before we get to top and not top story of the day. 3:30, Dave Voloshin, the voice of the Tigers, will join us. We'll talk about Sunday's game against Tulane and this little road trip down to Texas this week, North Texas and SMU back-to-back road games. We'll talk a lot of Tiger basketball in our next segment with Dave. 3:45, we'll get into the Grizzlies. They had a game last night. We're trailing by 20 and more points. Got it down to about 5-point game late in the fourth quarter. This Grizzlies team, even though they're banged up, not a lot of guys able to play, they're continuing to fight night in, night out. So we'll talk a little bit about that at 3:45. 4 o'clock, Brent Beard from First Coast News down in Jacksonville will join us, talk some college football. A lot of news in the college football world. Brett mentioned the college football playoff and ESPN agreement, the 6-year extension, but also earlier today it sounds like college football is close to announcing helmet communication devices will be allowed for college football. So a very newsy day for college football today. We'll talk a lot about that with Brent. 4:30, we're going to take a deep dive on the Tigers this season, their schedule, best wins, worst losses, the schedule that remains over these next 7 games. So we're going to take a deep dive into this Tigers team and a look at the schedule at about 4:30. 4:45, we'll get to big number of the day. 5 o'clock, Bo Marchant will join us to talk the NFL. A lot of Super Bowl talk with him, a lot of off-season talk with a lot of moves in terms of head coaches around the league. So a lot to get to at 5 o'clock with Bo. 5:30, we'll get to what's trending. And at 5:45, we'll wrap up today's show like we always do with Taco Bell Crunch Time. Let me remind you, we're in our Family Leisure Studios where family and fun come together and head out there for their floor model sale. All floor model patio sets are priced to move. Wicker sofa set, under $2,000. Closeout patio cushions as low as $25. Pool tables, under $1,500. Theater seating, under $2,000. And four-person hot tubs, now under $5,000. Infrared and traditional steam saunas, they've got them and they're 25% off. Get ready for summer and purchase your above-ground pool right now to get first in line for installation. And that special financing, it's still available. So head out to Family Leisure, 2120 Whitten Road, just north of I-40.
We're Sportstime, and we're with you until 6 o'clock, and you can reach us at 901-360-8255. Text or call at 901-360-8255. Johnny Hill producing, Bryant and Brett with you until 6 o'clock. In this hour, brought to you every day by Lexus of Memphis at 2600 Ridgeway and online at lexusofmemphis.com. The one and only Lexus dealership in town with great offers on all 2024 models and always special leasing options. Drive in luxury and confidence knowing that every new Lexus comes with complimentary first and second maintenance services. Their number, 901-334-9673. But stop by Lexus of Memphis at 2600 Ridgeway and put yourself in the driver's seat of the all-new 2024 flagship LS500. And you'll be looking and you'll be driving in style. When you purchase a Lexus, you get top-of-the-line engineering and design, and they make for the luxury driving experience. Online at lexusofmemphis.com. Experience amazing at Lexus of Memphis.
Top story of the day.
Well, my top story of the day, we're going to talk a lot about it at the end of this segment, but the Grizzlies fell last night 96-87. At one point, the Pelicans were up by 20 more points and really controlling the game, but the Grizzlies fought in the fourth quarter, late third quarter, and into the early fourth quarter to try to make that game a little bit closer, but ultimately the final score 96-87. But the big story from last night, Vince Williams Jr., one of the newest Grizzlies to a standard contract on that roster, was picked up for the Rising Stars game at All-Star Weekend. After an injury knocked a player out, Vince Williams was the next name promoted to that game. And really, when you look around and you talk about what type of player, obviously you're going to get rookies in there, obviously you're going to get kind of the big names, like Victor Wembanyama, certainly a rising star, but Vince Williams, what he has done over the last couple of years, starting out G League, nobody really knowing who he was. You'd hear talk about him, this guy that they've got in South Haven, he can really shoot the ball, he plays good defense. To then be able to be called on, play a big role this season, and then get a standard contract, I think Vince Williams is the definition of a rising star in this league with what he's shown. To go out there and have games where he's dropping 15 points, 20 points, then on the other end of the court, he's defending Luka Doncic and Kevin Durant. He's playing both ends of the ball at a really high level, and so I'm super happy that he's getting this opportunity to play in the Rising Stars game, and hopefully some people that are not here in Memphis, just NBA people around the league, will start noticing that the Grizzlies have a very intriguing young player.
Yeah, he's not team MVP this year, but he is the best story on the team this year.
100%.
And got to have some good come out of all this calamity. My top story, college basketball takes a more prominent place. It will have its big event next month when it really dominates the American sports scene. And then in early April, it will crown a national champion. I hope with the conference expansion, we don't make the regular season longer. Around 30, 31 games is enough, starting, that first Monday in November and all the way through that early part of April when a champion indeed is crowned. It's mostly, a lot of it is played in anonymity across the country. It does feel like the tournament will get expanded pretty soon. And I'm, for the first time, I'm really thawing and kind of coming around to that's okay. The NIT is totally worthless. There shouldn't be one. And I'm not going to go to Barking Crow. I'm not going to go to NIT bracket guy. Not a single time. I don't care about the NIT, and very few really do. But here's what I don't like about the expanded tournament. You're going to have some super average coaches out there going, well, I went to the tournament 7 years in a row. Yeah, because there's 96 teams.
Yeah, that's you're gonna get a lot of that if they expand.
It's made for Josh Pastner.
Brett, that is a great point. That is a great point. You'll have guys like him every year. Well, I mean, look.
I went to the tournament.
Went to the tournament. Well, I mean, look.
Yeah, you were 19 and 15.
Exactly. Oh, that's such a great point, Brett. My not top story of the day. I'm gonna stick with college basketball and really talk about this slate of games we have tonight. A really, really good slate. You look around the country. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 top 25 teams playing tonight on a Tuesday.
And one matchup of top 25 teams. It's real good.
Yeah, a really, really good matchup. Oklahoma and Baylor, 8 o'clock tonight on ESPN.
Sneaky good game, UCF and BYU in the Scrabble Bowl.
That's another really good. Oh, I love the Scrabble Bowl. That is great, Brett. But some really, really good games tonight. And here kind of locally, a lot of people will have their eyes on ESPN at 8 o'clock tonight when Ole Miss heads up to Lexington to take on Kentucky. Kentucky looks up.
Carl Ravitch and Jay Billis doing the game. You think Jay Billis knows Ole Miss has a basketball team?
Probably not. Probably not at all. But this is an interesting matchup, and John Harden's actually the one that kind of, cued me off to this earlier today. But we know Kentucky has now looked up, and they've lost 3 straight home games. Tonight, if they were to lose to Ole Miss, would be 4 in a row, completely unheard of in Lexington. But John brought up something I was not aware of. Ole Miss head coach Chris Beard has not lost 3 straight conference games since he was at Texas Tech. So he's very good in conference play.
You know what that means? The announcer set up.
Something's got to give, Brett.
Something's got to give, Bryant. You know it.
Always.
You know it. Always. At 8 o'clock on ESPN right here with all the action at 7:30 on the Ole Miss Network with pregame and then tip at 8. My not top story, 16 home games remaining for the Grizzlies with 4 of those, 25% of those from Wednesday through next Monday. One could argue this is kind of the lowest point since they've been to Memphis. There's a lot of reasons why. I don't mean that critical. It's just factual with it, this few number of wins. The hope of Ja and Jaren, it's derailed for now. We will re-hope again next year. 22 wins, the fewest in the 23 years in Memphis, last done in the 17-18 season. They did it in back-to-back seasons in 06-07 and 07-08. 3 times 22 wins since they've been to Memphis. Have to go 5-23 to get to the 23 mark. And I don't know if that's going to be easy or not. It's rough.
No, it is. It is very, very rough. But I guess we'll wait till those ping pong balls drop and see where the Grizzlies land. It's rough out here. But that'll do it for top and not top story of the day. Let's go ahead and get to our first break. When we return, we're talking Tiger basketball with the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin.
We are real sports talk. Sports 56 WHBQ. Available on your radio dial at 560 AM and 98.5 FM, as well as around the world online at sports56whbq.com. Take us with you everywhere by downloading the Sports 56 app. And at home, just say, Alexa, play Sports 56. Wherever you are, stay tuned in to Real Sports Talk. Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Join the Heindel Center for the Performing Arts for an evening with Cal Ripken Jr. February 22nd and celebrate a true champion. Ironman Cal Ripken Jr. played 2,632 consecutive games for the Baltimore Orioles. This 19-time All-Star, 2-time American League MVP, and Baseball Hall of Fame inductee is a true baseball icon. Get tickets at HeindelCenter.org to see Cal Ripken Jr. 7:30 p.m. Thursday, February 22nd at the Heindel Center for the Performing Arts on the campus of Northwest Mississippi Community College in Senatobia.
It's leap year, so jump into big savings at Gossett Kia on the Pike. New 2024 Kia Forte LXS gets 41 MPG, $239 a month, $27.99 due at signing. How about 7-passenger seating? Get 2023 Kia Sorento LX, $319 a month, $34.99 due at signing. 2024 Kia Telluride LX, $459 a month, $34.99 due at signing. All 36-month lease, and don't forget, every Gossett Kia comes with a 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. So call Bobby J to put you in a new Kia today. That's Gossett Kia, 1900 Covington Pike, or online anytime at KiaCovingtonPike.com.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars. All 650 acquisition fee. Forte RE 722-812, MSRP 21,590. Sorrento PG 242710, MSRP 33,010. Telluride RG 462-822, MSRP 38,705. Includes all rebates and incentives. Must finance through Hyundai. Excludes tax, title, and license. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 2/29/24 with approved credit. Dealer stock only.
Without the ones like you, who work tirelessly to keep things running, everything would suddenly stop. Hospitals, factories, schools, and power plants, they all depend on you. No matter the weather, emergency, or time of day, you're the ones who get it done. At Grainger, we're here for you with professional-grade industrial supplies. Count on real-time product availability and fast delivery. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Nestled in the heart of East Memphis, located corner of Park and Cherry, is a beautiful residential neighborhood. I'm here at Town Village Audubon Park interviewing a new resident, Carolyn. Share with us why you chose Town Village.
Well, if your parents or special friends need to make that big move, let me share with you my experience. It was tough for me to leave home, but then I discovered Town Village. I would like to highly recommend Town Village to you and your loved ones. After looking at all the amenities and meeting all the people and staff, I was hooked. From restaurant, bistro, 3 meals per day, housekeeping, transportation, security, health care, physical therapy, exercise room, and even a heated pool and spa. Come see us and make your new home at Town Village.
Visit us and call Daniel at Town Village Audubon Park at 901-374-7342. There's no place like home, Town Village.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good afternoon. It's already starting to pick up over here on 240 East, passing Bill Morris Parkway. It's pretty slow out there in Haywood County. If you're headed towards Jackson, Tennessee, on 40 going eastbound, a vehicle flipped a little bit earlier around the 60-mile marker. That's right near Brownsville on 40 going eastbound. Again, out in Haywood County, give yourself extra time. It's a pretty good delay up through there right now. Hey, Weimer's Jewelry, 7525 Highway 64 is your full-service, family-owned jewelry store right here in Memphis. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Let's welcome longtime voice of the Tigers and host of Wolo and Friends. Weekday mornings at 10 right here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Dave Woloshin to talk Tigers football and basketball with Bryant and Brett.
Dave Woloshin, the voice of the Tigers, joins us to talk some Tiger basketball. Now, 3 straight wins for Penny Hardaway's team as they get ready to head down to Texas for 2 important road games. But before we get to what's coming up on the schedule, Dave, I want to talk about the game on Sunday. Kind of a win that the Tigers needed after a lot of these close games, a 90-78 win over Tulane. What'd you like the most about that win for the Tigers?
Well, two things strike me right off the bat about that. One, 90 is nice to get. That's a good round number. But in the first half, against Tulane, which is the highest scoring team in the American, they held them to 29 points on 27% shooting. That is outstanding. Mm-hmm. I mean, because that team can score. That team really passes the ball well. And Memphis played probably as complete a game since Virginia or at Wichita State. Now, they let the foot off the pedal the last 10, 12 minutes. That's a little disturbing, maybe a lack of a killer instinct, which we did see 2 other times, but the only 2 other times. But I loved that, and I loved the fact that they had 21 assists on 29 field goals made. Mm-hmm. Every game, Penny has a goal, 20 assists. He hasn't reached that goal very many times. In fact, they have only assisted on 48% of their field goals made. To me, that's the best barometer of sharing the basketball, getting teammates involved. I always like to look at the ratio of assists to turnovers. That's important. But if you want to see if a team is sharing the ball, getting everybody involved, you're going to look at how many have double figures, but you're really going to look at now how many assists on field goals made. 21 of 29, that is outstanding. Those were the best takeaways that led me to believe that Memphis is getting back to the form they had when they won the 10 games in a row.
What other factors are playing into getting back to that form of 10 in a row and ascending to number 10 in the country, Dave?
I think one key word, my friend, and we're in the business, it's called communication. They are definitely communicating a whole lot better on defense. And one guy in particular who's so critical was actually getting banged a little bit about it, was his lack of communication skills, was Javon Quinterly. Quinterly himself admitted he was taken to task by Penny. He sat down a game. He didn't start one game, even though he played plenty of minutes. But it was, you want to be the point guard, you got to get everybody in the right position. You got to tell Malcolm Dandridge, you're not dribbling the ball up the court. Give it to me. I'm going to take it up there. I think he has gotten much more vociferous and a little bit more aggressive. He likes to say, he said it to me, I'm a leader by action, but he's become a better leader by words too.
Well, you talk about Quinterly and kind of those leadership qualities he has. I know a lot of people a couple weeks ago were talking about, I guess last week, we're talking about that game against Wichita State. He goes 1 for 13 from the field, did make a huge three-pointer late in that game, but really poor shooting from him. But these last two games, much better. On the road against Temple, he finishes with 19. Against Tulane, he finishes with 18. How important is Javon Quinterly for this Tiger team down the stretch?
Well, Jones is the most important for scoring, but I think the most important overall guy is Quinterly.
Yeah.
I mean, if you look to see when Quinterly plays good, Memphis plays good. When Quinterly doesn't, and I'm not just talking about scoring either. I'm just talking about getting people involved and being a leader. When he does that, Memphis is a really, really good team, and he will tell you he's not consistent enough. And I hate to say this, but it goes back to those insulting statements that his former coach, Nate Oates, made prior to the season. There was some truth to that. I think even Quinterly recognizes that now, because he said on the last postgame show, I've got to come to play every game, and I have not necessarily done that. And I'm not talking about the 0 for 12, because he did try to do other things like that. And I think that's an anomaly. I will bet you there's not another game that he'll go 0 for his first 12 and then hits the big one on his 13th, but had the courage to take the 13th shot. There's not many guys that would do that either.
Got the bleeding stopped with the losing streak ended, and now a winning streak of 3 in a row to make it 4 in a row at the pit in Denton against North Texas. First time for the Tigers to face North Texas since playing them in an NCAA tournament down in New Orleans with Johnny Jones as head coach of the Mean Green. For longtime Tiger fans, we can remember this being a Valley game. First time for the Tigers to play there since 1983. This two-game road trip.
Let me just say this. Mark this day down. Stats Norsworthy has missed on a stat.
What did I miss on?
Played in the NCAA, in the NIT, COVID year, in that building. I can't remember who they beat, like Boise or somebody.
Yeah, but not against North Texas.
Not against North Texas, but they played in that building.
Right. Yeah, I knew they did that the first time to play North Texas since February of 1983. I'm looking at the game notes.
I didn't listen close enough.
No worries.
My wife tells me that all the time.
This road trip. Paint me the scenario for 2-0, 1-1, and 0-2.
Well, the 1-1 might be acceptable if it's at SMU, which is in net 43. You're talking about trying to remember where North Texas was in the net today. It was not that. It was well over 100.
They're 79. No, they're 79.
Oh, they're 79?
Mm-hmm.
They've lost 4 of their last 5, though. I don't think you can lose to the Mean Green. So 2-0, and now you're starting to look more at bracketology, and you might be inching up again, depending on what other schools in front of you in other conferences do. But 2-0 2-0 would be, yeah, we're back. 5 in a row. If you were to split 1-1, then if it's only SMU and you only lose one other game at FAU, I still think you can be an AQ to the NCAA, probably one win at the tournament. If you lose both, most likely you're going to have to win the American tournament.
I even have a 0-2 scenario as this, Dave. Don't want it, but here's an 0-2 scenario. Lose those two, then win everything else. Both Charlotte, both FAUs, East Carolina, UAB, and get to the finals on Sunday in Fort Worth, because there's going to be 68 teams in this bracket.
I won't argue with you on that, but I certainly don't want that scenario. That's too scary for me. And you don't want to break up momentum. I think in the minds of these guys, they've already played SMU, and they know SMU, can play ball. And I don't think a loss, if you win 4 in a row, you stumble on the road at SMU, you're even with them 1-1. Then you can make that up. But I think you got to beat North Texas. Otherwise, I think it really kills momentum. And you go 0-2. Really, then, if that's the case, what are the odds of you beating all of those teams, including FAU twice? I think you have got to win the North Texas game.
Yeah, I think that's a big one. Thursday, Dave, you know the general temperament of the team, and the temperament was very angry after the home loss to Rice. Where is it now? Does three games goes a long way to putting making frowns into smiles.
I think they're much more settled. They may have found a new piece that Penny has tried to get into this rotation, and that's Jonathan Pierre. He's played 2 good games in a row. We'll see what he does on the road. He tends to get too nervous, and as Penny says, he lets himself get in the way. He's accepted what Penny wants him to do, which is to be a little more physical, to use his athleticism, not just taking threes, but also inside. He had an assist. He had a rebound in the game the other night. And I think you don't want to play him more than 6-7 minutes, but I think he can come in and help you a little bit. It was good to see Jordan Brown come in, because if you're relying on just Malcolm Dandridge, I think you that gets a little tenuous there, because you don't know what Malcolm's going to show up, although I will say Malcolm is playing the best basketball of his career. So I think they knew they had to get better on defense. Every one of them, I don't know if they're just going by the script that Penny lays out, but they've all basically chimed in and said, during that 10-game win streak, we got away with stuff we probably can't just get away with all the time, especially on defense. I think they have settled into becoming a better defensive team. I think you might see more small ball. You will not see like Tomlin and a combination of Brown and Dandridge in at the same time, because Penny, he was talking with Perry Clark in the dressing room before the game when I pre-taped his show, and he was talking about how in this league he thinks small ball works a lot better, and it's taken him a while to understand that.
Well, you mentioned Jonathan Pierre and has been getting good minutes these last couple of games. I think it was after the Temple game when talking to the media. He was asked kind of about, this process of coming from D2 and then, spending a lot of this season kind of towards the end of the bench, but now getting minutes against Temple. And he said that early in the season he'd kind of been fighting with coaches. This is a guy that, had this huge growth spurt since, leaving high school, and has been more of a point guard, more of a guard as a player, and that they wanted him kind of at the 3 and kind of sitting in the corner, shooting, knocking down threes, getting rebounds, kind of getting inside, and that's not the game he wanted to play, and that it took him a while to kind of understand what they wanted him to do. What have you seen since the first day you saw Jonathan Pierre step on campus at Memphis, and now him producing good minutes in February, where you've seen have you seen this change in mindset from him?
Well, I haven't seen enough, honestly. I've listened. First of all, he is an articulate kid. Yeah. Memphis has some really good interviews.
Yeah.
They truly do. Like, if you have not talked to Carl Sharonfont, he's one of the more articulate freshmen I can remember. straight off the bat. I mean, he sounds like such a mature kid, and so does Jonathan Pierre. So Penny said that when he first came in June, they looked at his athleticism and they went, "Wow! I mean, this kid is terrific." Remember, he played Division II.
Mm-hmm.
You play junior college basketball in this day and age, it's more physical than they play at Division II. It just is. And so he really was making a big leap in terms of physicality, and it didn't go well in their summer practices against some of these guys, and he lost a bunch of confidence. But slowly and surely, he's gotten back to that, and he's accepted, because, like you said, he was fighting what the coaches said. He's accepted what he's got to be. He's done a lot of extra film sessions with Penny himself, and I think the lights finally come on.
Dave, y'all depart tomorrow. Do y'all stay out on the road, or will you come back and then go back to Moody?
Yeah, no, this is our first time since with Josh, where you stayed out on the road, and that was actually an SMU University of Houston, Texas two-step. This one will arrive tomorrow night in Denton, and then play Thursday night there, and then switch hotels on Friday, and we're staying right in Highland Park on Friday and Saturday, and of course play Sunday at our home Sunday night. So that you don't usually stay out, but we are this time, and Penny likes to say his guys bond better on the road, so we'll see.
I believe that. I want you to behave, because remember, you have grandchildren.
I am going to be a good guy, but I know a bunch of people in Dallas, so this is going to be a fun sort of week for me. And there may actually be Friday afternoon a golf game involved at a country club that Will Zalatoris belongs to. So,
very nice.
It's a nice little mid-season or toward the end season breather for yours truly.
Well, that will be a lot of fun. Dave, enjoy Texas. We'll talk to you again
Dave.
next week.
Thank you. And, Brett, I know I'll be talking SEC hoops. They say, Mike DeCourcy said today, 9 SEC teams could be in the tournament. That is going to make
I heard Mike this morning. I got to see it to believe it. I think 8, but we'll talk about it. Thank you, man.
Thanks, Dave.
You got it.
You got it.
Dave Woloshin, the voice of the Tigers, joining us to talk some Tigers and very important 2 games for this Tiger team.
It is, Bryant, and we know the stakes are high. I certainly agree with Dave on the split. You got to beat North Texas, and then it sets up for SMU to really make it a season road trip. Difference maker, turn around the whole season, and reboot it with 2 big ones at home against Charlotte at the top of the league. In Florida Atlantic, they went to the Final Four last year, and everybody wants another piece of Florida Atlantic because the Tigers did not play well that night. They did not, and still narrowly lost.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right about that. So very important 4-game stretch here coming up for the Tigers, and we'll see what they can do in that first one Thursday night against North Texas. Well, we need to get to a break, and when we come back, the Grizzlies, they were in action last night against the Pelicans. We'll talk about that next on Sportstime.
Add a little fun to your lunch break. Join Johnny Radio for Sports 56 Happy Hour from 11 to 1 every weekday on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Shop, compare, and save from hundreds of experts to turn your dream home into a reality. We have everything to help you remodel, refresh, and beautify your home inside and out. So come on out to the Home Show of the Mid-South, February 16th through the 18th at the Agri Center. You'll find special show pricing on kitchens, baths, patios and landscaping, flooring, cabinets, windows, roofing. It's all at the Home Show of the Mid-South, February 16th through the 18th at the Agri Center. For more info, visit memphishomeshow.com. That's memphishomeshow.com.
We all appreciate luxury. We love the newest technology. We want something that sparkles and looks great. Well, I've got it all in one place. It's called Genesis of Olive Branch, right at the corner of Highway 78, that's Lamar, and the first exit in Mississippi, that's Craft Road. Turn left and you will see Genesis of Olive Branch. And right now, you can get the 2024 Genesis GV70 starting at $49,480 with special financing as low as 3.49% on select models. How about the 2024 Genesis GV80? A little bit bigger, starting at $55,995, financing as low as 5.49% with a $2,000 rebate when trading a luxury brand. Call them. They'll even bring you a Genesis at your work or your home for a test drive. They're convinced that when you drive a Genesis, you're going to want one. Call 662-890-6684. Ask for Vinny. Genesis of Olive Branch.
You or someone you know or care about has dealt with a difficult divorce. When facing divorce, you need the attorneys at Rice Law. Nick and Larry Rice lead the firm with 3 generations and 7 decades of experience. Located in Memphis, serving the entire state of Tennessee and North Mississippi. Rice Law is who you need to call. Simple or difficult divorce, they know how to handle it. Call Rice Law at 901-526-6701, or for more information, visit them at aboutdivorce.com. That's aboutdivorce.com.
Looking for the most thoughtful, most romantic gift for the one you love this Valentine's? At Genesis Diamonds, celebrating love is what we do. Maybe it's a simple pendant, or maybe it's an exquisite, one-of-a-kind designer ring. Genesis can help you pick out the most memorable and special piece of jewelry for the occasion. And to make it even sweeter, now till Valentine's, whether you spend $199 or $199,000, Genesis will give you some chocolates, fresh flowers, and dinner out at no charge. It's a one-stop ultimate Valentine's experience. When you buy any piece of beautiful jewelry, we'll give you a bouquet of beautiful flowers, some yummy chocolates, and a gift card for dinner at Restaurant Iris. So join us at Genesis Diamonds. See our spectacular collection of rings, earrings, pendants, bands, bracelets, and more. Priced from $199 to $199,000. Let our non-commissioned experts help you find that perfect ring that'll warm their heart and, for years to come, be a symbol of your love. And we'll throw in the chocolates, flowers, and dinner as our treat. Happy Valentine's Day from Genesis Diamonds. On Poplar at Perkins Extended. Limited quantity. See store for details.
All 650 acquisition fee. Forte RE 722-812, MSRP 21,590. Sorrento PG 242710, MSRP 33,010. Telluride RG 462-822, MSRP 38,705. Includes all rebates and incentives. Must finance through Hyundai. Excludes tax, title, and license. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 2/29/24 with approved credit. Dealer stock only.
Hey, Jeff Allen, you ready to get this party started at Gossett Kia South Mount Moriah?
You bet I am, Randy. Gossett's got your new Kia that gets 41 MPG highway. 2024 Kia Forte LXS, $239 a month, $27.99 due at signing. Need extra room? How about a 2023 Kia Sorrento LX at $319 a month, $34.99 due at signing. And a 2024 Kia Telluride S all-wheel drive, $459 a month, $34.99 due at signing. All 36-month lease.
Plus, get peace of mind because with every Gossett Kia, you get a 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty.
So whether you live in Horn Lake, South Haven, Olive Branch, or Memphis, you'll be happy at Gossett Kia on Mount Moriah.
2680 Mount Moriah or online, KiaMountMoriah.com.
Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Lexus of Memphis. Here are your hosts, Brett Stats Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Welcome back into Sports Time. Bryant and Brett with you, and we talked a lot of Tigers in our last segment with Dave Woloshin, but now I got to talk the Grizzlies. They were in action at home last night against the Pelicans, but drop another one. And, you know, this season is not about wins and losses anymore, but another hard-fought game, and, made it close down the stretch, but Pelicans, playing all their guys, just too much late, even though I think the final quarter, that fourth quarter, I think combined like 24 points between the two teams. Like I think Pelicans had 10, Grizzlies had 14, so very low scoring end of the game for the Grizzlies.
Yeah, it was, and it's a repeat of a lot of the games. And at some point, I'm not accusing anybody, but there's nothing wrong with it if they are. If you're gonna tank, go and good and tank.
Yeah. But hey, if you're gonna lose the game, might as well be competitive while losing. I mean, that's
Yeah, it makes it look a little
tanking,
better.
I guess. Yeah, nobody can accuse you of tanking if you're just throwing guys out there and you're being competitive while doing it.
Because I know they've really made it not tank proof, but you can't go all out anymore.
Right.
And I don't know the exact percentages, but I can tell you this: to have a number one pick, I would rather have 25% chance than I had just a 20% chance.
Oh, absolutely, Brett. I mean, every time.
I mean, if the doctor's standing over you going, this has a 25% success rate, this only has 20. Well, give me 25.
Even though both are bad, I'll go with the 25 easily.
I wish interest rates were 25%.
I do too, but we can't be so lucky. No, but yeah, I mean, I think if you're one that you're looking forward to the the balls bouncing and seeing where they land, you like all this win or all this losing, and I think it's going to continue because we were talking about the upcoming schedule yesterday, and it's not an easy schedule coming up. You got Houston, Milwaukee,
this
Clippers.
Week.
I mean, it's really tough.
Hey, and the old saying, there's Rick Pitino got the job with the Boston Celtics, and they handed him the rough draft of the schedule, and he said, "I don't see Eastern Kentucky anywhere. There's not going to be anywhere." Now you get down toward the end of the year, and what's going to be the motivation of Denver on the last day of the year? I wouldn't imagine very much. No. The Lakers could be checked out or real checked in.
That's right.
By the time the Grizzlies play both of them late in the year. And then there's Oklahoma City's in there, Golden State, and I think I said it to you off air yesterday. And it's no big epiphany. A lot of people are recognizing it. Look out for Golden State. They're about to figure some things out. And Draymond Green gets a lot of the credit, but he makes so many other players better, like Jonathan Kuminga.
Yeah, no, and Jonathan Kuminga over the last couple of weeks has been playing really, really well. I know I was listening to Keith Smith on the Front Office show, I think about a week before trade deadline, and he said, you asked me a month and a half ago if I'm the Warriors who I'm trading, I would say Jonathan Kuminga. Today, I am not trading Jonathan Kuminga. I mean, he is showing what kind of player he could be, and last night the Warriors on the road with a big 129-107 win over the Jazz.
Really good win for them last night on the road. I was surprised at the ease that Minnesota won last night.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Statement game, I think.
Certainly. On the road against this Clippers team that, if you erase that beginning of the season where they lost, 7 of their first 10 games, it's been a really good Clippers team. To go on the road to L.A. and win like that, especially the second half they had, I mean, in the third quarter, outscored the Clippers 40-19. I mean, that's incredible.
That's some statement there. For the Clippers, and I know you can find it, Brian.
Sure.
I was really kind of awestruck by when they were here, and those 4 Hall of Famers, there's no doubt they have 4 on that roster, and they're 4 first ballot, unanimity, no doubt they're in.
Yep.
They don't need rings, they don't need anything else. Wouldn't hurt, but they're all in.
Yeah.
That night, never more than 2 were on the floor together here in Memphis.
Interesting.
I wonder how much they've been on the floor together, all 4 this year. Is there a site out there that would?
Oh yeah, I could find that. You'd give me some by tomorrow. That's my big number. I mean, I'm telling you, I can find it certainly by tomorrow. But you're right. I mean, they just have so many weapons, and kind of after that first month or so of trying to get everybody together and playing, together and figuring out everything, they've looked really, really good and looking like a team that could, be one of the last couple of teams standing. So it's going to be fun to watch, and now I know a lot of people with the NFL wrapped up, they're really going to turn their eyes to the NBA and to college basketball. So those are some teams to certainly keep an eye on as we get closer and closer to All-Star Weekend. But we need to wrap up our first hour and get to a break, and when we come back to start our 4 o'clock hour, we're talking college football with Brent Beard.
The President's Day sales event is on strong at Gossett Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram Fiat on the Pike. How about $7,000 off all 2023 Dodge Charger RTs in stock? We Gossett. How about 0% for 72 months on all 2024 Ram 1500 Bighorns? Yeah, 0 for 72 on 2024 Ram 1500 Bighorns. How about $8,000 off 2023 Jeep Grand Cherokee Limiteds? We Gossett at Gossett Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram Fiat on the Pike. There's no reason to shop anywhere else. Get to Gossett on the Pike today. Charger $7,000 off, Grand Cherokee Limited $8,000 off, and 0% for 72 on all 2024 Bighorns. So drive past the rest and come to the best Gossett on the Pike, or shop online GossettMotorCars.net.
If you want it, we Gossett at Gossett Motor Cars.
Charger PH 548,192, MSRP 46,205, Cherokee PC 66,2620, MSRP 55,760, includes all rebates and incentives. DF 695 excludes tax title and license with approved credit. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through end of the month. Dealer stock only.
O'Reilly.
You need parts? O'Reilly Auto Parts has parts. Need them fast? We've got fast. No matter what you need, we have thousands of professional parts people doing their part to make sure you have it. Product availability. Just one part that makes O'Reilly stand apart. The professional parts people.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Hi, it's The Herd. Get in on the action with DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NBA. New customers who deposit $5 or more can get a no-sweat bet up to $1,000 back in bonus bets. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now, 90 seconds. Use the code HERD, H-E-R-D. New customers get a no-sweat bet up to $1,000 if your first bet loses. Only on DraftKings Sportsbook. Code is HERD. The crown is yours.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Or in West Virginia, visit www.1800gambler.net. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort in Kansas, 21 plus, age varies by jurisdiction, void in Ontario. One no-sweat bet per new customer issued is one bonus bet based on amount of initial losing bet. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. See dkng.com/promos for deposit, wagering, and eligibility restrictions, terms, and responsible gaming resources.
Hewlett & Dunn Boot and Clothing Company, we have it all. From handmade Amish leather belts, fine and casual clothing, boots, casual boots, work boots, fancy boots, and even safety-toed boots. Lots of cowboy hats to choose from, even Nebo lights, good-looking duck head dress shirts, duck head caps, shorts, and pants. Tons of jeans from Ariat, Wrangler, Devil Dog, and Kimes Ranch jeans. At Hewlett & Dunn, we have a great selection of Old South t-shirts and caps, fine clothing from dress to casual to Sunday best. Enjoy choosing from UFO's orthopedic-approved shoes. Hewlett & Dunn Boot and Clothing Company. Boots of every size, every color, every skin. Great quality Western, work, and safety toe boots. Hewlett & Dunn Boots and Clothing Company. 111 North Center Street, Collierville. Hewlett & Dunn. Hewlett & Dunn, serving you and your family since 1961.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good afternoon. The cleanup an accident out here on Bill Morris Parkway westbound, just past Tax Crossroads. Again, that's coming from Collierville towards town. Traffic's on the increase even more now on 240 east from Middle Branch out to Bill Morris Parkway. Still slow in Haywood County on 40 going eastbound around the 60-mile marker. That crash has been out there for a while. Hey, Reimer's Jewelry, 7525 Highway 64 is your Valentine's Day headquarters. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, and W253DF Memphis, Flynn Broadcasting Stations. College football talk every Tuesday with Brent Beard, Heisman voter, and on Twitter X at Brent Beard. SEC, ACC, AAC. We talk it all with Brent. Here's Brent Beard with Bryant and Brett.
Brent Beard joins us now from First Coast News down in Jacksonville. Brent, thanks for joining us. A lot to talk about today. Pretty newsy day in college football. But before we get to any of today's news, I want your thoughts on, we talked a lot about it last week when it came out. But Nick Saban, it's been reported, been made official that he will be joining ESPN, and more importantly, he will be part of College Game Day next season. I know me and Brett talked a lot about how excited we are to kind of see the different side of Nick Saban, not just the football coach, I'm going to get up in my players on the sidelines yelling at officials, but kind of the other side of Nick Saban. What were your thoughts when you saw the news that he will be joining ESPN in College Game Day?
Reese Davis told my brother and I probably 10 years ago that when Saban retires, he has a contract on his desk to join ESPN, so that I'm sure you file that away somewhere convenient. It was a logical choice. Look, frankly, it's an upgrade. I think he will add some insight that they really don't have from a coach's standpoint. It's something I think he wanted to do. I still think, guys, he's going to end up being in some role. I'm not going to call it a commissioner, not going to call it a czar, but I think he's going to do something that will help the game. That's important to him. It always has been. But he'll do really well in that role. Just providing, I think, some talking points that maybe the rest of that group won't come up with. And kind of interesting that two of the better coaches in history, Urban Meyer obviously is on Fox, and now Saban being on ESPN. That's a coup for television.
It is a coup for television. It's a coup for the consumer because, Brent, you hit on it. They needed a coach's perspective because Urban Meyer has knocked it out of the park on Big Noon, and Game Day has to match that. Yeah. I said it a couple of times this fall. I basically when I was watching early morning Saturday college football, I had the back button either on Big Noon, if either Mark Ingram or Urban Meyer, if they're talking, I listen, and then I go back, and if Herb Street's not speaking, I go back to Big Noon, and I just kind of kept a information line going of about three people, and now this brings in a big fourth person.
It does, and that's going to help them, I think, out a lot. I'm also going to be interested to see what Lee Corso's role is going to be, if that's going to continue to diminish. And look, this is not being disparaging against Lee, but I really do wonder, guys, if eventually Lee is going to just kind of do the head mascot routine, maybe even from his home or something of that ilk. That will be interesting to see where that really goes. I get why they did the demographics of what they did with their most recent edition. I know some folks have expressed less than pleasure with seeing that move, but yes, and look, guys, just be honest, for us that deal with this every day, the truth of the matter is, there are a lot of times on Saturday morning that I'm doing something else. Just kind of relax a little bit before the games. I'm maybe at the gym or watching the Wild Wild West or something like that. But because frankly, the truth of the matter is, like you guys, we have dealt with the subject matter every day.
Yeah.
And frankly, I think that's why a lot of people don't watch the Super Bowl pregame.
Yeah, we've gnashed about pretty good about it. But I do look forward to Coach Saban on a really cool job for somebody out there, and he's going to get somebody young. It'll probably be somebody from the media. And we saw it at the heyday with Coach Corso when he hired Herschel Nissison to be his researcher. Somebody out there is going to have a front row to be able to hang every weekend with that traveling band, and also with the greatest college football coach that was ever in the sport, Nick Saban, just being their researcher.
Well, and a lot of these assistants have said that they and been very honest about it by saying, if you don't have a pen and a paper, and maybe a couple of them, when he starts talking, you're really wasting an opportunity. And I think that's going to be the same thing for him. Now, my big question is, and Bryant, listen to this, because Brett and I have talked about this for years. When you get coaches on the air, what is the biggest thing that he's going to have to deal with is, will he be willing to criticize his brethren when he has never really done that before? Everybody's coached well. We know the coach speak that comes from that, and I'm not saying that he is going to libel and slander people on the air, but I think we both know there are times that you've got to have some constructive criticism, regardless of where he is. And Bryant, that's my question. And this is something Brett and I've dealt with over the years with different guys. Would he be willing to be open and transparent about discussing when decisions were made and why were they made? And here's another thing they could have done.
Who's the current SEC coach right now that if he, I'm not talking about going in deep and personal and vengeful, but just constructive criticism, who's the one that it will really make screaming headlines about?
Boy, that's a great question. Certainly it will be for Hugh Freeze because of the obvious Alabama-Auburn situation. But I would probably say Kirby because he was on the Alabama staff, and he and Nick had games of tremendous importance over the years. I'm not sure if that's where you were going with that, Brett, but
it is, and you nailed it.
Those were a couple that come to mind, right?
If I had to list them, I'd start in the Iron Bowl world, Auburn and Alabama, and when the first time he ever even treads lightly at criticizing Kalen DeBoer, we know the story it's going to be. I would start with those two. Then I would go to Kirby. Then I would go to Lane. Then I'd go to Brian Kelly.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I think those are good ones.
Yeah, that's a great point, too. Yeah. Now, I think he'll be favorable in the beginning, frankly, because Brian Kelly, to his credit, and we've mentioned this a couple of times, has gone and really added some, I think, coaching big names to that defense. And that's one thing they really need to do, because they were, let's be honest, they were abysmal defensively last year. And them being able to get the guys they're in, I think may make a big difference in the LSU defense.
Absolutely. Talking to Brent Beard from First Coast News in Jacksonville. He joins us every week to talk college football. Brett and I talked a little bit about the news coming out today. The College Football Playoff and ESPN are in agreement on a 6-year extension worth $7.8 billion, $1.3 billion per year. Just an unbelievable number to see. What did you think about that news that came out this morning?
Well, I mean, the numbers are just staggering, aren't they? I mean, it's not even real. Yeah, I mean, it's really hard to imagine in our finite mind that we can really appreciate what those numbers are.
When $780, if we found on our doorstep, it really helps all of us out in our lives.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely. And then you multiply that times
I can't get there. I'm sorry.
I can't.
I don't know what that
I can't
is.
either. I would need my tax accountant to help me to really put that in perspective, and I'm sure probably somebody will before it's over. But frankly, Brian, as you and Brad have talked about that, and my goodness, we're not even. And look, that doesn't even sum up the amount of money that look. These SEC schools got $51 million. That was just announced a few days ago, and there's still a lot of money that we don't even know what's going to come in this. But with how much more the TV contract would be. You mentioned the playoffs, but look, the other thing going on here, there's a lot of this. There's a lot of speculation and people doing money additions if the SEC and the Big Ten break away and what that's going to look like. And my Lord, I mean, I've seen it. I'm sure numbers like you guys have. Instead of $51 million a year, I've seen one projection where it was going to be $100 million per year per school. And I mean for a year. I don't mean for 10 years. I mean for a year, guys. I've seen as much, and this is even more staggering. What would be some of these schools getting as much eventually as $150 million per year?
Lord.
Now that may be just exaggeration just to get clickbait. I don't know.
We got to hire more analysts and more video people with that, Brent.
Yeah.
Can't get enough video people.
No.
I think we're going to have video people filming video people to see what they're filming.
Yeah. Got to make sure they're not cheating, Brett.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, Lord, that's hilarious. But look, again, and I get and you know, I won't make this a social commentary, but I also understand when the average bear person is just doing all they can to make ends meet, and you know, it obviously is a sport that they love very dearly, but you know, when they're doing all they can just to make ends meet, and they see money about that, I understand their reaction. I really do.
Yeah. No, absolutely. I definitely agree with that. Some of the other news that came out today, the NCAA is close to approving helmet communication in college football. The NCAA Football Rules Committee will meet near the end of February, and we should have more word on where this is going to go. We saw it in the bowl games this year, and it sounds like from everything that at least the NCAA is saying they heard, positive things, only positive things.
Right.
What did you see in these bowl games? What do you think of the idea of the NCAA getting closer to what the NFL does in terms of communication devices?
I think it's something they've got to do. Yeah. Look, anything to get rid of these silly signs we've got to hold up signs of Arnold Schwarzenegger and Bugs Bunny and you know, who knows what. If we can get rid of all those guys, that's a positive thing.
Yeah, well, that and the curtains that have to hide those signs from people, and people can't even see the game because of that.
Well, we're going to need more curtains.
That's
the problem is, look, we all know them. And we all love them, but coaches are the most paranoid people on the planet.
Just don't trust anything.
No, not at all, do they? Look, that's why, as much as we probably need them, we're not going to have spring games that are played between two different teams because
no chance.
Yeah, there's really not, is it? Because these coaches are way too paranoid that heaven forbid, and I don't think it's players getting hurt. I think there may be some dire secret that somehow is given giving away in one of those games that could be a problem for them, they think.
Brent, with it, we know we got the 2 years of the 12 teams. Do you think this new we know the money, but do you think the next 6 years, do you think that will encompass 16, maybe 20? I think at FCS level there's 20 already, isn't it?
Yeah. And I can see that happening easily. I absolutely think that's going to happen. They're just guys. They're just too much money in it, and it's one of the easiest revenue streams that there is would be to continue to expand the situation. And again, if we're headed to what we think we're headed to, which is the SEC and the Big Ten basically doing their own thing. At that point, you've got to do something if you're the non-Power 4, the non-Power 5, however you want to look at that. And those schools need to go ahead and start making some plans for that. So there's absolutely no question about it. What will because of the money, because of the access and the opportunity, we'll go to 16, and it won't take long to do it either.
All right, do you prefer campus or more incorporation of existing bowls and maybe even rotating some bowls that, maybe not every year the Gator Bowl in your town or every year the Liberty Bowl in our town, that they're a part of that, but maybe rotating them with Citrus and the Tampa Bowl, the Music City Bowl, the Houston Bowl. What do you prefer?
I think because I would like to see something on a regular basis happen in the Gator Bowl to make it worthwhile. I think maybe I would like that, although I do really I think it's fair for the fans to have at least a playoff game where they can go their own stadium instead of traveling to do that.
Yeah, now one drawback to that, though, at that time of year for playoffs, there's the campus life is a little dulled by people being home for Christmas break.
Right. That's a good point. I get that. But look, I think what's going to happen with this is that we're going to start off with having some of the games on campus, and I think at some point, in order to save the bowls, that's what they're going to do, is basically have all the games at a bowl. But look, if it would, as much as I want to see it on campuses and give fans a fair break for that to get the Memphises and the Jacksonville involved with it, that'd be well worth sacrifice as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah. Well, we talked last week about Bill O'Brien, and it sounded like he was going to be taking over at Boston College. Now that has been made official, and now Chip Kelly is going to be the offensive coordinator for Ohio State. What do you make of that change for Chip Kelly leaving at the head coach position at UCLA and now for Ohio State? I mean, getting a sitting head coach to be their offensive coordinator has to be huge for them.
Yeah. And let me make a couple of comments on that. First with O'Brien. Now I saw this, and again I'm hesitant to say. And Brett, if you saw it, let me know. But O'Brien obviously he has a lot of ties to that area. Now I have read where O'Brien has a son that has some medical situations, and his doctors are like in that Boston area.
Yes, I've read that too.
Did you see that too?
Yes.
And that has something to do with
Sure
it.
it does.
And I mean, crying out loud, who wouldn't want to go and get a job that you're familiar with if it's going to help your family? I think the Chip Kelly thing, Bryant, he may have been trying to get ahead of the posse in that situation. Look, UCLA is not the job it used to be. I mean, they've got great-looking uniforms. I mean, they're
great fight song.
Oh man!
Oh yeah, it is. They're 10 minutes from the ocean and all that. But boy, that hits. I tell you what, probably what, Brett, since Terry Donahue or someone like that.
Probably so. And Brent, you're factually correct. I mean, they can be 10 minutes from the ocean, but their campus is 40 minutes from where they play.
Yeah. And see, that's a problem Miami's got.
Yeah.
In a similar situation. And that just doesn't.
They can go deep sea fishing easier than they can play homecoming.
They could. They could. That's exactly right. So what happens there to make that a better job? And my Lord, it's just going to get tougher. Mm-hmm. They're in the Big Ten. They've got to do all this traveling and so forth. I mean, I think USC can get it together quicker than they can. But that is not going to be easy for them at all. And I know they hired from within their running backs coach, the UCLA great running back. But I hate to be cynical about this, but we've just seen this happen too many times to where they made the easy transition, and into 2 or 3 years that they regretted the choice.
I know this. All they got to tell the new coach is he's playing Alabama as a player, and you can put 200 on the board at running back. We saw him run all over Fran in 2001, Brent.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I remember that well. No question.
They couldn't tackle him.
Oh, no.
Looked like Herschel Walker.
That's right. Oh, yeah. Yeah, it really did at that point, didn't he? Yeah, that's a good point. But that's also a good question. And, again, we don't have time to get into it too deep, but this pattern we're seeing of coaches, even head coaches leaving and going to be assistant coaches. This stuff can't. Nothing in college football stays forever. Right. And at some point, there's going to be either by Congress, which I doubt, or by the NCAA, which I doubt maybe even more, or the market, or whatever it's going to be. Some of this NIL and transfer stuff is going to get. We're either going to get used to it, or it's going to get better.
Yeah. Well, I trust the market more than I do Congress or the NCAA.
Yeah, I agree with that totally. Yeah, absolutely. So, and hoping when that happens, that this leaving the jobs is going to get easier. But look, guys, the reality too. This is on the coaches in a lot of ways. They made that schedule, and they have the power to change it, particularly in December if they want to do that.
No, you're right about that. And you're right. It's interesting to see a lot of these head coaches kind of making changes and trying to get a coordinator job instead of that head coaching job. And it's definitely something to keep an eye on with kind of how the direction college football is going in. But Brent, always fun talking to you, talking some college ball with you, and we'll do it again next week.
Good.
Thank you, Brent.
Always enjoy it, guys. Take care.
Thanks.
Have a great week. Brent Beard with us every week talking college sports, college football predominantly. We will get into some basketball with him. As now the basketball spotlight is on. The spotlight is on tomorrow night for the day and night of love, and at the commissary, what a great deal they have at both locations, the new Collierville commissary at Houston Levy and Poplar, or the original in Germantown. You want to go to Houston Levy tomorrow night? Here's what you get. You get a slab of ribs, about $8 to $9 to $10 off normally. You also get dessert. You also get champagne. At the original in Germantown, instead of champagne, you get complimentary 2 beers for you and yours to enjoy. That Memphis-style barbecue and ribs done the slow-cooked Memphis way, the signature Memphis way. If you're craving an easier way to order, text commissary to 33733. Again, Walker Taylor wants me to thank everyone for the overwhelming response for around the big game for various parties, catering, and even at the Collierville Commissary on Sunday afternoon, where a lot of people watched and enjoyed. 901-754-5540 or online at commissarybbq.com for that Memphis barbecue and those appetizers at the commissary that we all love, like the smoked chicken wings, the staple of all things sports, the barbecue nachos, the tamales, the cheese plate, then dig into the ribs of the shoulder, chopped or pulled on a plate, on a sandwich, all those great sides, and the party packs, the 6-pack, the 8-pack, the 12-pack, and the desserts like the lemon icebox pie, the terrific banana pudding, and the strawberry cakes. CommissaryBBQ.com or call 901-754-5540. Again, CommissaryBBQ.com. Happy Valentine's from everyone at the commissary to you and yours. For orders to go, catering, tailgating, anytime, it's time for the commissary. Walker Taylor and his team, they do it the right way. 901-754-5540 or online at commissarybbq.com.
Brett, I'm curious before we go to a break, you mentioned when we were talking to Brent that you trust the market more than you trust Congress or the NCAA. Who do you trust least, Congress or the NCAA?
Oh, man. Well, Congress has landed us $35 trillion in the hole. And the NCAA is about to really wreck college football and college basketball. I'll go Congress.
All right, I like that. I'm going to circle that one.
Love the people of this country. Don't trust that government for one thing.
I wrote that down. When you said that, I said, I got to ask Brett. Who does he trust least?
That's a toughie, man.
It's a good question. Almost a hard one. I know a couple months early. But
very high and very difficult. Chin music.
That's right. Well, we need to get to a break. And when we come back, we're going to take a deep dive look at the Memphis Tigers this season for the basketball team. This schedule, best wins, worst losses. We're doing all that next on Sports Time.
Join the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin, for Wolo and Friends. Weekday mornings from 10 to 11 here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Looking for the most thoughtful, most romantic gift for the one you love this Valentine's? At Genesis Diamonds, celebrating love is what we do. Maybe it's a simple pendant, or maybe it's an exquisite, one-of-a-kind designer ring. Genesis can help you pick out the most memorable and special piece of jewelry for the occasion. And to make it even sweeter, now till Valentine's, whether you spend $199 or $199,000, Genesis will give you some chocolates, fresh flowers, and dinner out at no charge. It's a one-stop ultimate Valentine's experience. When you buy any piece of beautiful jewelry, we'll give you a bouquet of beautiful flowers, some yummy chocolates, and a gift card for dinner at Restaurant Iris. So join us at Genesis Diamonds. See our spectacular collection of rings, earrings, pendants, bands, bracelets, and more. Priced from $199 to $199,000. Let our non-commissioned experts help you find that perfect ring that'll warm their heart and, for years to come, be a symbol of your love. And we'll throw in the chocolates, flowers, and dinner as our treat. Happy Valentine's Day from Genesis Diamonds. On Poplar at Perkins Extended. Limited quantity. See store for details.
I'm Gary York. I'm the service director at Lexus of Memphis. Our service department wants to be more than just a place where you get your oil changed. We do glass repair, windshield replacement, recalibration of your camera and sonar systems, even wheel repair, tire replacement, all the things you would expect from a luxury automotive dealer. Please check out our website. You can schedule your appointment, check out our specials, hours of operation, or if you'd like to do it in person, please reach out to one of our associates at 901-271-5199.
Shop, compare, and save from hundreds of experts to turn your dream home into a reality. We have everything to help you remodel, refresh, and beautify your home inside and out. So come on out to the Home Show of the Mid-South, February 16th through the 18th at the Agri Center. You'll find special show pricing on kitchens, baths, patios and landscaping, flooring, cabinets, windows, roofing. It's all at the Home Show of the Mid-South, February 16th through the 18th at the Agri Center. For more info, visit memphishomeshow.com. That's memphishomeshow.com.
Welcome to the Rendezvous.
This is John Vergas. When my dad started the Rendezvous in 1948, I don't think anyone could have imagined we'd still be serving shoulder, cheese plates, and our world-famous dry rub ribs 75 years later. But we are still here in the basement, in an alley in downtown Memphis. We sincerely thank you for making the Rendezvous what it is today. Charlie Vergas Rendezvous. A legendary experience for over 75 years, whether you dine in, pick up, or ship across the country.
When you love somebody, you protect them in the best ways you can. That's why I recommend SimpliSafe. It's an advanced system that protects every inch of your home. Plus, it's backed by 24/7 professional monitoring for fast emergency response for less than $1 a day. Seriously, $1 a day. Order now, get 20% off, Any new Simply Safe system with Fast Protect plan. Visit simplysafecolin.com. That's simplysafecolin, COLIN.com. There is no safe like Simply Safe.
It's time to get thunderstruck during Gossett Mitsubishi's spring sales event at Gossett Mitsubishi on the Pike. Ready to get 43 MPG Highway? Check out the 2024 Mitsubishi Mirage. We Gossett, $18,610 or $249 a month. Need extra room? 7-passenger seating in 2024 Mitsubishi Outlander SE, $33,605 or $399.99 a month. And Gossett Mitsubishi's got sophisticated styling and comfort in 2024 Mitsubishi Eclipse Cross, $31,200 or $449 a month. Plus, every Gossett Mitsubishi comes with Mitsubishi's 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. That's Gossett Mitsubishi, 1870 Covington Pike, and 24/7 at MemphisMitsubishi.com.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
Mirage RH00591 MSRP 19110, Outlander RZO 19512 MSRP 34605, Eclipse RZO 10625 MSRP 317, includes all rebates and incentives. PF 695 excludes tax, title, and license. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through end of the month with approved credit dealer stock only.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good afternoon. Wrapping up that earlier crash out there on 385 Billmore Parkway, just up from Hacks Crossroads. Traffic's on the increase now. Even more on 240 east from Mill Branch out to 385 Billmore Parkway. It still looks pretty good right now over here on I-40 as you pass Hollywood and Warford in both directions. 24/7 reliable crane and rigging services right here in Memphis. It's got to be Tomahawk Crane and Rigging. They're online at tomahawkcrane.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Welcome back into Sports Time. Bryant and Brett with you in our Family Leisure Studios. And the Tigers, 7 games left in the regular season. 2 this week, both in Texas, North Texas, on Thursday. And they turn right around and play SMU before coming back home. But we want to take a little bit of a deep dive at this season for the Tigers and kind of take a look back at the schedule and where things sit right now. So, Brett, I will let you take it away. Where do you want to start?
Best win. Who do you think?
I will say Virginia.
No doubt.
Is the best
No doubt.
win.
And especially with Virginia now third in the ACC at 19-5. And for Tiger fans, it's go Hoos the rest of the year.
Absolutely.
I mean, go Cavaliers, go Virginia the rest of the year. And I think when we get to the end of this will prove how important. It doesn't affect the outcome of the game, I know that. But after you beat them or even lose to them, you want them to go and do well, especially if you beat them. Worst loss, I think, is as clear as the Virginia was the best win.
I say Rice, worst loss. At home, it was the 4th loss in a row. I mean, felt like that could be the
odd lineup starting.
Just very weird first half. And, Brett, I mean, we were sitting in here. I remember that day sitting here. Okay, at home against Rice, get that win under your belt and, try to start turning things around. Nobody thought that the Tigers would lose that game at home.
If the tournament chair is asked point blank by anybody, why didn't Memphis get in? The easy answer is going to be lost at home to Rice.
Yeah, lost at home to Rice in January. I mean, that's it's easy. I mean, it is easy.
And the equivalency crowd of, the other leagues have other bad losses.
No,
this
really
was
loss.
This was epic.
Loss, that was really bad.
And the Tigers, on the day you beat them, you can't help that it comes unraveled. And now look at this. Look, Missouri just, there's not very good. There's teams that are bad. Mm-hmm. And then there are teams that are just dreadfully bad. And that's Mizzou. They're 14 out of 14 in the SEC at 8-16. They wouldn't go to the tournament if it was 240 bids.
No, not at all. I mean, I don't know what has gone wrong this year. I'll be honest, I've not watched a lot of Missouri this year, but last year, I mean, that team was fun to watch. I know they lost a couple guys to the NBA.
They were the South Carolina of last year.
They were. I mean, really fun, and you thought, especially that early season game, you thought, man, this is going to be a tough one for the Tigers, and the Tigers are going to look back in February and March and be saying, man, that Missouri win or that Missouri game was huge early in the season, and now it's the complete opposite.
And when they made this schedule that was applauded by everyone, it still should be.
Absolutely.
Because you don't know what's going to happen, but in reality, here's what the Tigers beat. They beat 12, 13, and 14 in the SEC. 12 is Arkansas at 12 and 11. I'll be surprised if they finish over 500. Might finish one above or one under, and then whatever they do in Nashville. 13's Vandy.
Yep.
They're 6 and 17. You're 6 and 17, and you're not in last.
Yeah, how about that?
And Mizzou's in last. Now, the Tigers did beat Texas A&M, and the net loves them. Yep. I'd love to know why. A&M, they're 5th in the SEC, and they're 15 and 8. The Tigers lost to Ole Miss, that's 8th in the SEC, and 18 and 5. And I think we'll be very lucky to get in the tournament.
Sure. Yeah. No, I mean, they're kind of sitting there. I've been looking at some updated brackets over the last couple of days, and they're kind of sitting right there, 8, 9, last 4 in type of team, last 4 bye type of team. So, yeah, I mean, they need a push, and it's just so hard in the SEC. I mean, when you have that many good teams, I mean, you look up and you got to go to Lexington tonight to play Kentucky, and that's just a Tuesday night in the SEC.
It is, but it's not quite the sizzle that it even had 2 weeks ago with this Kentucky swoon. Now, Ole Miss, they'll take it.
Right. Well, but still, I mean, that's no matter what Kentucky is. I mean, they're going to have guys out there, and they're going to be a tough test. I mean, that's hard, and I don't know who Ole Miss plays this weekend. But I'm sure it's tough.
Kentucky's got 6 players who will get drafted in this draft.
Oh, yeah. I mean, 5 or 6 certainly. And then where's Ole Miss? Here we go. You turn right around on Saturday and have to. Well, they get Missouri, so I mean, I guess they get some sort of relief there. But
in Oxford,
you look at these last 3 games for them, including tonight's game: Auburn, South Carolina, and Kentucky. I mean, that is a extremely tough stretch in SEC conference play, and that's every single week in that conference. And so it's hard when you're a team like Ole Miss. First head coach, still trying to figure out everything, even though it's been a huge successful year, I think. It's hard to make it in the tournament when you're so young as a team under a new coach.
The Tigers lost badly in the Bahamas to Villanova, that they're now Villanova's 8th in the Big East, 13 and 11. They did beat Clemson at home, but the Clemson's 7th in the ACC at 16 and 7. Really need Clemson. The Tigers need Clemson and Virginia to all but win out, except for if and when they play each other.
Yeah, and they've been both those teams have been playing pretty well lately. I know Virginia has kind of turned back into kind of one of these classic Virginia teams where they're holding opponents to 50 points and playing great defense, and so you got some hope there for Virginia. Clemson, on the other hand, coming off that win over North Carolina last week, so hopefully both these teams can get something going. Now, raise your hand if you had Villanova in your Final Four preseason. That was me, and now what?
Had Arkansas winning it all.
Well, so I guess we both, a big miss there for both of us, I guess.
Big miss for both of us. But I had Arkansas winning it all. No, they're not going to win anything. Warren Nolan. Didn't the Tigers have a point guard one time named Warren Nolan? No, it was Marcus Nolan. Sorry. Warren Nolan, whoever that is in college basketball, he has the AAC ranked 10th in strength of schedule conferences, behind the Valley and just barely ahead of the Ivy.
Interesting. Well, Ivy League, it's always, always a fight when you're playing in the Ivy League, Brett. I mean, you can never bet on an Ivy League.
What's KenPom on strength of schedule for the Tigers?
KenPom for the Tigers has their strength of schedule at, let's see, overall 94th in the country.
Ooh. Yeah. It's hard to find a lot of good news out there. Kind of on the bracketology and things like that. It sure can change this week. I think it can change. SMU seems to be a net darling.
yikes, CBS, and I don't know where CBS gets their strength schedule. I don't know if that's in-house or if they get that from somewhere. CBS has Memphis strength of schedule 114. So, yikes, not very good.
Well, and that's how it played out. Even VCU, they're fourth in their league.
Yeah. And a huge win on Friday
over
Dayton. And so, that's one. And Brett, you've been saying it really ever since about a month ago that VCU has really held up for the Tigers. And now you look.
Did last year.
Just last week, that was a quad 2 win. Now it's a quad 1 win for the Tigers. And I think a lot of these are starting. Clemson now, quad 1. That was a quad 2. Virginia right on that line. If they can win a couple more games, they'll jump into to quad 1 territory. So, there are some teams that are starting to pick that up for the Tigers.
It's starting to repeat itself from last year. VCU held up all of last year. A&M did. That was Chandler Lawson's best game against A&M last year in a game that really made things a lot easier down the stretch. Now, what made it really simple for the Tigers down the stretch is how they played and then ultimately winning the AAC tournament. But we saw last year that those Sunday games, that Sunday win in that conference championship game, it didn't factor in a lot.
No, and we've talked about that a lot, about kind of how these conference championship games are set up. And I mean, last year the Tigers weren't even in front of a television before their name was announced on Selection Sunday. And I really think, and we've talked about this before, try to move that maybe to a Saturday or something to where the selection committee at least can act like they factor it in there instead of just having that game end and 30 minutes later you're unveiling them as an 8 seed. Maybe that could do something, because right now it's very clearly not doing anything for really any team in the country.
I would describe the AAC as bad. How would you describe it?
I would describe it as competitive. Is that if we're just doing a word? I would say competitive. I didn't think it was going to be this competitive. It's not a great conference.
It's competitive now in the conference, and the games look competitive because I think it's a lot of bad teams playing against other bad teams, and it makes for fair, competitive action.
Sure, absolutely. And so,
I don't think it's excellence going out each night against each other.
No, certainly. I mean, no, it's not one of the top conferences in the country at all. But I think it's in the middle of the pack. I'm seeing. Let's see. KenPom has it as the 9th conference in college basketball, behind the A-10 and Mountain West, and then all of the power conferences. I would probably say it's right there. I have it as about the 8th or 9th conference in basketball, and it's been. I certainly didn't think the Tigers and FAU would not be 1 and 2 interchangeably in the conference in the middle of February, and I certainly didn't think the Tigers would be sitting here at 6th in the conference.
In the preseason, I had the Tigers going 24-7, and you and Johnny both had them going 23-8. They can't go 23-8 and get an at-large.
No, and it's just kind of how this schedule has planned out. We talked about it, I think, a couple weeks ago, where we said, if you looked up and we're talking, on today, what's today, February the 13th? We're talking on February the 13th, and the Tigers, instead of only having 2 losses in non-conference, had 4 losses in non-conference, competitive, but then really ran the table in conference play. That's very different than what we're looking at now, where they have 2 losses in non-conference and 4 losses in conference, and we're all sitting out here, and no matter what bracketology you go to, they're on the outside looking in. I think if they were running the gauntlet right now in conference, maybe dropped 1 or 2 more in non-conference, they would be safely in the bracket right now.
Brian, in the legal world, they call amicus brief friend of the court. As a friend of yours, you better darn sure know what tomorrow is.
Tomorrow's Valentine's Day, Brett. Yes.
February 14th, Valentine's Day.
Well, dates and numbers and things.
No, don't mess that one up. That's all I can tell you.
Now, I'll be honest, Brett. I did some. I'm a very last minute person. I thrive under pressure.
Okay.
When the clock is counting down, I'm like Jordan. I want.
You're one of those guys out at the mall on Christmas Eve at 10 o'clock, aren't you?
That's right. So I went and did some Valentine's Day shopping during my break
Good
today
work.
and tried to get some things. not finished.
What are you doing getting a break? You don't ever get a break.
No, I sneak out of here, and they think I'm here. I do the whole I get like a pillow and have it plopped over. It looks like me with my hoodie on, and people think it's me while I get out of here for a couple of minutes. No, but let's go ahead and get to a break, and when we come back, it'll be time for Big Number of the Day.
Broadcasting from the Family Leisure Studio, we are Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Middle of winter, and how many homes with swimming pools do you think will sell? This is Sheldon Rosengarten with Mark Spensdorf Realtors. How about 2 of my listings with pools selling in freezing weather? One sold with snow and ice on the ground. Oh, did I mention that both of these homes that sold had multiple offers? Both of them. If you or someone you know has a house with or without a pool and you're thinking of selling whatever time of the year, remember what I always say. Talk to 2 to 3 real estate brokers and just make sure that I am one of them. I have a highly successful strategic marketing program that can mean the difference in whether you sell or not and what you can make and when. And find out why people often say that when you want the job done, who are you going to call? Shell Dunn. You can reach me at 483-0546 or memphisrelocate.com. That's Shell Dunn Rosengarten at memphisrelocate.com or 483-0546. Do it now.
Getaway Sports Bar, the best kept secret in town, open noon to 1:30 a.m. 7 days a week. Garvin, the owner, created this SEC NFL Dream Bar over 20 years ago. You'll never miss a minute of action. 10 TVs, 5 70-inch TVs for all the big games. Rack them up on 6 pool tables. Coldest beer in town, grab you a pool stick and get you some good bar grub. 100% Angus burgers, big and moist chicken tenders. Daily happy hour Monday through Friday, 2 to 6 p.m. with long neck domestics, $2.25. Getaway Sports Bar, 4632 Winchester.
It's leap year, so jump into big savings at Gossett Kia on the Pike. New 2024 Kia Forte LXS gets 41 MPG, $239 a month, $27.99 due at signing. How about 7-passenger seating? Get 2023 Kia Sorento LX, $319 a month, $34.99 due at signing. 2024 Kia Telluride LX, $459 a month, $34.99 due at signing. All 36-month lease, and don't forget, every Gossett Kia comes with a 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. So call Bobby J to put you in a new Kia today. That's Gossett Kia, 1900 Covington Pike, or online anytime at KiaCovingtonPike.com.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
All 650 acquisition fee. Forte RE722-812, MSRP 21,590. Sorrento PG 242710, MSRP 33,010. Telluride RG 462-822, MSRP 38,705. Includes all rebates and incentives. Must finance through Hyundai. Excludes tax, title, and license. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 2/29/24 with approved credit. Dealer stock only.
If you're looking for a new couch, you could cut down on expenses by bundling your car and renter's insurance with Progressive. Because you know you've had this couch for too long. Sure, you've had good times together, but a ripped-up cushion is not a fond memory. It's a sign. Notice how other people have couches with 2 armrests? Now that's living, right? No, it's just normal. So bundle your renters and car insurance with Progressive and put the savings toward a new couch. Please, it's time. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company. Coverage provided and serviced by affiliates and third-party insurers. Not available in all states.
When a cold comes on strong, try DayQuil's Severe Honey flavor. The daytime, coughing, aching, stuffy head, fever, honeylicious, power through your day medicine. Powerful cold and flu symptom relief with a honeylicious taste, so a cold won't slow you down. Get back to your day feeling relieved, enjoying the delicious flavor of DayQuil Severe Honey. DayQuil Severe Honey flavor soothes your symptoms with a delicious taste. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at getethos.com. That's getethos.com.
Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Big Daddy.
Hello, Big Brand. It's a guy, he wants to be big, then he gets big, he doesn't want to be big anymore, then he gets small, but the suit's too big.
Big Daddy.
The big boy.
You're a big guy. I think she's trying to pull a fast one on Big Daddy.
The big number of the day.
All right. Well, I have a couple big numbers today, and I am excited for them. One big number that I don't really love, but I'll say it anyway because I don't know what's wrong with them, and I'm so excited to talk to Bo here in a second to ask him his thoughts. 11 is my first big number.
Okay.
I think I have 3 or 4 big numbers today. The Athletic put out, or somebody from The Athletic put out, Josh Kendall from The Athletic put out his way too early 2024 NFL Power Rankings. And sitting all the way...
This is really early.
This is very early, only a couple days after the Super Bowl. Sitting way down at number 11, the Dallas Cowboys. I think he's wrong. 11. I mean, in front of them, the Bengals...
Boy, no parade routes there, is it, Johnny?
Hey,
Brett.
Josh
is wrong,
Hey, Brett, have the tissue on standby.
In front,
you know I do.
Well,
there it is.
I've got something
Brett,
here
we're gonna
now,
have it
so
for
I
you,
think,
man.
I think on Friday when Brett was in here, he left me some so that I
Yeah.
in case I ever needed them. In front of the Cowboys, he has the Bengals, the Dolphins, the Browns, the Bills, the Packers, the Texans, the Ravens, the Lions, the 49ers, and the Chiefs. He has the Eagles way down at number 15, which might be an even bigger surprise.
Joe Burrow's my quarterback to put any pressure on Mahomes next year.
I think that's good. A good pick, especially
got to get well.
Got to stay healthy. Got to get healthy and stay healthy. 2 more big numbers from me. One of these 2 tie together. One big number, 25. Texas Tech's Darian Williams is the first player in the last 25 seasons with 30 points, 10 rebounds, and 100% shooting percentage against a ranked opponent. He did that last night against Kansas. And also from that game last night, Kansas's 29-point loss to Texas Tech from last night matches the program's largest loss against an unranked opponent in the AP poll era. The other 29-point loss came in 1950 against Kentucky. How about that?
That was Peach Basket days, wasn't it?
Well, that's a long time. 1950, I mean, is ancient, if you ask me.
Real good numbers.
Before Elvis
long time
Presley
ago.
started singing. I mean, that's a real long time ago.
Real good. My big number is 26.
Okay.
It's been 26 years since Ole Miss won at Rupp Arena. People want to talk about Super Bowl games. When you go to Kentucky, that's everyone in the SEC world Super Bowl game to go to Rupp and win. The last time Ole Miss won at Rupp Arena, current athletics director Keith Carter had 21 points. Current Georgia head coach Mike White was the point guard for Ole Miss, and the star that night for Kentucky was Jeff Shepard, and his son Reed is the star tonight for Kentucky.
That is incredible.
Incredible big number, Brett.
His one big number beat all 3 of my big
Yes,
numbers
it did.
easily. I mean,
It did. The
easily.
Cowboy really messed you up, though, Brian.
I mean, it's ridiculous. Number 11 in the power rank?
They should be 2 at worst.
At worst. I'm
Our
number
Cowboys,
1.
Johnny. We know, but we got the parade ready already.
Man, it might just be Brian at the parade.
It's in my back pocket, right next to my wallet.
Dave will all that time in Dallas-Fort Worth this week and go check out the parade route for us.
Brett, that is a great idea. I'm going to give it to him. I'll send him down there. Forget his golf trip. Forget all
he
these
doesn't need to be
things
playing any
he
golf.
wanted to do while he was in Dallas. He is going to make sure there are no issues.
Site
with our Super Bowl
survey,
ride.
lay it all
Absolutely.
out for where we can go for
You
our
gotta have
Cowboys
it.
and celebrate.
I mean, you got to have it. If you don't do it, you're just not playing. And we have Dave
That's it.
Lotion to do it for us. That is a really, really.
You know where I was in 1998, Bryant?
I'm going to guess right here.
Right there.
Right there.
Always.
Always.
I remember
always right here.
the day after, and Ole Miss has only won twice ever at Rupp.
Crazy. And it's you're right about that, though. I mean, everyone's Super Bowl is to beat Kentucky in Rupp, and which means that 3 teams have had their Super Bowls in the last 3 games that were played at Rupp.
And UNC somebody back in November.
UNC Wilmington. That's right.
Wilmington.
Way back in December.
Isn't that weird? They beat North Carolina but lost to Wilmington.
Yeah. Very, very, very weird. Maybe UNC Wilmington needs to change their name to North Carolina. I mean, I don't know. They
Go Heels.
North Carolina, that's right. But we need to wrap up this hour and get to a break. And when we come back for our third and final hour, we're talking NFL with Bo Marchant.
It's a new year, and Family Leisure has a new way to bring family and fun together. All you have to do is walk into Family Leisure and look around. All those floor model patio sets you see, those have got to go. So Family Leisure can make room for all the new sets coming. Get a wicker sofa set for under $2,000. Pool tables under $1,500. Theater seating for under $2,000. Hot tubs for $4,000 or just for yourself. If you really want to lounge, they're under $5,000. Need patio cushions? Get them as low as $25. Oh, have you seen those infrared steam saunas? Well, now they and the traditional saunas are 25% off. It may just be the first few weeks of 2024, but that doesn't mean you can't start getting ready for summer. Two final things. Purchase your above-ground pool now and get first in line for installation, and take advantage of special financing that's available. Family Leisure, Whitten Road and I-40, bringing the family and the fun back together.
Hi, this is Lauren Choate with Choate's Air Conditioning, Heating, and Plumbing. Burst pipes can be real headaches, especially with the increasing deep freezes. But don't worry, Choate's has solutions by winterizing your home's plumbing pipes. Our smart water monitor and shutoff system detects leaks and can automatically shut off your water to prevent even bigger leaks. We guarantee your outside faucet won't ever freeze with our Freeze Miser upgrade. And don't forget about heat tape we can install for drains and water pipes, keeping them from freezing down to -40 degrees. Concerned about water quality? The Halo Whole Home Water Filtration System filters out pollutants, ensuring clean showers and pure drinking water for your family. For a free estimate on safeguarding your plumbing system or filtrating your water, give Choates a call at 347-8086. And remember, Choates, let our family serve your family.
The President's Day sales event is on strong at Gossett Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram Fiat on the Pike. How about $7,000 off all 2023 Dodge Charger RTs in stock? We Gossett. How about 0% for 72 months on all 2024 Ram 1500 Bighorns? Yeah, 0 for 72 on 2024 Ram 1500 Bighorns. How about $8,000 off 2023 Jeep Grand Cherokee Limiteds? We Gossett at Gossett Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram Fiat on the Pike. There's no reason to shop anywhere else. Get to Gossett on the Pike today. Charger $7,000 off, Grand Cherokee Limited $8,000 off, and 0% for 72 on all 2024 Bighorns. So drive past the rest and come to the best. Gossett on the Pike, or shop online GossettMotorCars.net.
If you want it, we Gossett at Gossett Motorcars.
Charger PH 548-192, MSRP 46,205, Cherokee PC 662620, MSRP 55,760, includes all rebates and incentives. DF 695 excludes tax, title, and license with approved credit. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through end of the month. Dealer stock only.
Looking for the most thoughtful, most romantic gift for the one you love this Valentine's? At Genesis Diamonds, celebrating love is what we do. Maybe it's a simple pendant, or maybe it's an exquisite, one-of-a-kind designer ring. Genesis can help you pick out the most memorable and special piece of jewelry for the occasion. And to make it even sweeter, now till Valentine's, whether you spend $199 or $199,000, Genesis will give you some chocolates, fresh flowers, and dinner out at no charge. It's a one-stop ultimate Valentine's experience. When you buy any piece of beautiful jewelry, we'll give you a bouquet of beautiful flowers, some yummy chocolates, and a gift card for dinner at Restaurant Iris. So join us at Genesis Diamonds. See our spectacular collection of rings, earrings, pendants, bands, bracelets, and more. Priced from $199 to $199,000. Let our non-commissioned experts help you find that perfect ring that'll warm their heart and, for years to come, be a symbol of your love. And we'll throw in the chocolates, flowers, and dinner as our treat. Happy Valentine's Day from Genesis Diamonds. On Poplar at Perkins Extended. Limited quantity. See store for details.
Chris Price, it's so good to see you. And you have a new business?
Yes, Dave. MetroBuildersMemphis.com. Have you noticed water stains on your ceiling? With storm season here, take a walk around your home or business and look up. Make sure there are no water stains signaling a leak prior to the heavy storms coming in. If you do see signs of water, call me. My team and I will come out, diagnose the problem, and prescribe a fix. Our team of Hague-certified inspectors are waiting to assist with any inspection or repairs you may need. We have 3 crews dedicated to repairing roofs in the Mid-South. As certified Owens Corning owning and mule high dealers, we offer 20-year, no-dollar limit labor and material warranties that offer hassle-free ownership. That's our hassle-free ownership guarantee. Allow Metro Builders team of professionals to assist you in maintaining your property's integrity and value. MetroBuildersMemphis.com. Your local commercial roof experts. Ask about our commercial roof maintenance agreements. Protect your investment with MetroBuildersMemphis.com. Call me, 901-375-1717. That's 901-375-1717. 375-1717.
Make your next grill your last with the Big Green Egg at East Memphis Ace. Smoke, bake, roast, sear, and grill, all with a lifetime warranty. Ready to cook in only 15 minutes with cook temperatures below 200, above 700, and anywhere in between. Change your at-home cooking experience for life with our unmatched, authentic wood-fired grill flavor that has our customers raving. Get your Big Green Egg and all our accessories at East Memphis Ace on the corner of South White Station and Quince Road.
Ole Miss Rebel Yell is back. The Rebel Yell Hotline Radio Show is back on WHBQ Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Every Monday night at 6, hear the latest news on your Ole Miss Rebels with Yancey Porter with 24/7 Sports, former Ole Miss defensive tackle Mike Fitzsimmons, Gordon Ford covering SEC Sports Call, and former Ole Miss baseball announcer Gary Darby. From kickoff to free throw to extra innings, your Ole Miss Sports on the Rebel Yell Hotline Show right here Monday night at 6 on Sports 56, 560 AM and 98.5 FM. Your Mid-South Sports Station.
We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, and W253 DF Memphis. Flynn Broadcasting Stations.
Oh, yeah.
National Football League talk every Tuesday with Bo Marchant, covering the NFL Draft at collegetopro.com and the NFL Draft Bible, covering the Steelers for Sports Illustrated, living and running in Eastern Ohio, and on Twitter X at Bo Marchant. Here's Bo with Bryant and Brett.
Bo Marchant joins us now to talk the NFL only a couple days after the Chiefs are winners of the Super Bowl. And Bo, I loved this year's Super Bowl. I thought it was so much fun, so competitive. I thought pretty much everyone got what they wanted out of it. If you're a fan of defense, first half we had a bunch of punts. Defense really kind of setting the tone. Second half we had more of the offenses. Then we get overtime. Everyone's trying to figure out, learn the new overtime rules. And I don't know. I think there's still people that don't understand the overtime rules. I don't know if I fully understand the overtime rules now. But what was your biggest takeaway from this year's Super Bowl?
Well, I agree with you, Brian. I loved it. I just thought it was a fabulous game. Prior to me going live, I was telling Johnny, it was a long time since I actually was just home, me and my wife, my son, and just there was no party. It was just sitting and watching the game. Yeah. No conversation at a table. It was purely the Super Bowl, nothing else, and I loved it. I thought it was a fabulous game. Both teams showed up. They were, no bad calls. Nobody was to blame. It was just a magnificent game. I liked it from start to finish, so I had zero complaints. Two great teams, and they really left us with a special game for Super Bowl 58.
Bo, I so enjoyed it, and one thing I loved about it, and I know the NFL can afford it, and they should do it for every single game, and I don't even know what their designation, what it is, what they are, but I was calling them the bouncers. All the officials on the sidelines in the black jackets that were out there quickly to break up any stuff. If there was any jawing, they were out there to quickly break it up and kind of keep the sideline clean, because they didn't want, and they had one where the San Francisco player clearly struck the 49ers, and that. No, other way around. 49er player struck the Kansas City player, and it got Kansas City their first touchdown. That was getting ready to get stalled to just a field goal. But I love those guys, kind of the administration of that, to not have any outside stuff and to keep the game flowing. The NFL can afford that. Why don't we have that for every game?
Well, bring that up with the NFL and all the referee union or whatever. I didn't even know they were there until the game started, and I started seeing these guys in black coats. And at first, I'm like, "Are these how did that referee get there so quick?" Or an umpire, however you want to describe them. I called them the
bouncers.
Yeah, and it's a great way to describe it. And then after a while, I'm like, these have to be some extra zebras on the field, because I've never noticed this before. No, it did. listen, the game was, I mean, no hiccups, and I'm telling you, I get so aggravated sometimes. There's just some plays just get drawn out, and you're just sitting there wondering what you're doing. But I'm telling you, Graham had a great flow. A couple penalties early, I thought, it kind of stifled some of the 49er thing. Not that cost them the game, but I'm just talking the flow of the game. It could have been for the Chiefs, vice versa. But, they got a little carried away early, but they put them a flag. I think each team had 6 flags, so it's 6 apiece, 12 total calls. So it was a clean game.
Mm-hmm.
I thought the offensive interference call I thought was just at the end. But even that, it was just a great game. And, I picked the Niners, and at 10-0, I thought, well, they look like they should. I thought they were outplaying the Niners. And I told my wife, we're sitting there, I said, if the Chiefs go down and they can at least get 3 on the boards before the half, they're coming back with the ball. I said, they're leaving him in the game. And if you're going to leave him that close where he can taste it, you're going to be in trouble. And they just can never put him away. And that's what I thought the game was so great was each time I thought the 49ers, almost reminded me of the Rocky movies, how they were just over-sensitized in terms of the fighting and the beatings that the other one would take. Yeah. And I thought both those teams were on that pedestal many times, but they kept getting up and they kept taking a punch and the fumbles. I mean, it was just a game of back and forth. And as you mentioned, we got it all. And, lo and behold, Kelsey, 1 catch, no yards, whatever first half, and he ends up with 9 catches for 92 or whatever he had. So, they came alive, and they came alive when they needed to. They made the plays. And, and talking about overtime, I'm not going to lie. I think I have it figured out, but if you have me take a quiz, I might realize that I don't know how it actually works. So I think I do, but I could fail the test if I was given one.
No, I'm with you on that. I think still need to watch it a couple more times before I feel like I can firmly grasp it. But what do you think? I mean, when you just saw it one time, this new concept of the overtime, what did you think of it? And there's been a lot of arguments about how to approach this overtime, this new overtime, if you want to be the team that takes the ball first or if you want to get the ball second. Where do you stand if you have a side on that?
I would have just went with the momentum and a gut feeling for me personally. I don't know if there's, we could call it analytics or a hunch.
Right.
Shanahan said analytics. Andy Reid said just, basically the feel of it. We're going to go out and play football.
Yeah.
If the 49ers come down and they put 7 on the board, then, then the Chiefs are in a real predicament. And granted, they ended up scoring a touchdown, but it changes the mindset when you got to get 3 or you got to get 0.
Yeah.
7, that's a lot. And it makes everybody that much more nervous. It makes everything that much harder to do mentally. So I don't blame Shanahan for the call. I mean, and listen, he could have punted it, and the Niners went down and scored it, or the Chiefs went down and scored a touchdown. Now they're down by 7, and just say they don't score a touchdown. Yeah. So now he's foolish because he didn't give the offense a chance to win the game. So if you're going to lose, you're always going to be critiqued no matter what you do. And if he wins, we'd be critiquing what Andy Reid did wrong. But vice versa, Andy Reid gets to host his storied Lombardi Trophy, and you just got to give him kudos. He took such a beating, and I was part of one of those guys who really doubted him if he'd ever get over the hump. But the combination between him and Mahomes, as we see, it's a dynasty that we're seeing currently.
Did Kansas City win or San Francisco blow it?
I think a little of both. I think the 49ers had enough opportunities. I mentioned. I mean, they were giving them body punches, and you were waiting for the Chiefs to crumble. You're like, they cannot take one more punch. But each time that defense came through, they made the plays that they had to. I thought Spagnuolo called a great game. He really was able to work that. I mean, the key was that the Niners were 3-12 on third down, so they were always in third and long. So that second down, they were winning the second down, putting the 49ers in a bad predicament, and they never could carry the ball over. So I think that was one of the big factors. And then Mahomes being able to run with the football early. First half, they were sacking him, they were keeping him in the pocket. He wasn't making those plays. And then the second half rolls around. We know the interception right coming out of the half. They get, but the Chiefs defense again won. They stand pat, and then lo and behold, Mahomes starts to kind of work it the other way, and he starts to kill you with his legs. That 3rd and 4 when that was a huge game. That's the game. And they run him, and he picks up the yardage needed, and a couple other big runs. I think 65, 66 yards rushing in the game. So I do think the Niners will always regret this. This is the game that they lost, but I will not say that this wasn't a game that the Chiefs won, because they took all the punches, and at the end they came out on top, and well deserved. Fabulous game. Again, if we're blessed enough to watch a Super Bowl like that every year, the numbers will even grow. Even as big as they are, even more people will watch the Super Bowl.
Absolutely. Well, when you look at this Chiefs team, there was a time earlier this season where, this was supposed to be a down year for the Chiefs. I don't think a lot of people, if you had asked them, there was that stretch in December where they had lost 4 of their last 6 games and, kind of capitalized with a loss on Christmas Day to the Raiders. And I think if you had asked a lot of people then, they would have said, oh, well, maybe next year. This isn't the year that the Chiefs make a run for it, and now they're standing as the Super Bowl champs. What did you just make of this entire season for the Chiefs, and what are their chances? What do you think about the idea of them being back here next year with an opportunity to three-peat?
Well, I mean, right now with Mahomes and the way they're playing, you have to count them as one of the contenders without a doubt.
Until they're out.
Until they're out. They're repeating champs. I mean, granted,
they've earned it.
Three-peat's going to be difficult, regardless of who you are, what time zone or time frame you are in the league. It's a hard thing to do. The defense is young and talented, and, the offense took a step back for what we're accustomed to seeing, but it was the defense that really held the glue, and they put it together. And, I picked them throughout the playoffs. I never picked against the Chiefs. I went against them last week. I just thought the 49ers were a better team.
Yeah.
But the Chiefs, they're defending Super Bowl champions back-to-back years, so it's hard to argue anything to do. They're going to be like everybody else, though. Now everybody starts anew. It's a new season. What you did last year, what you did Sunday, it doesn't matter. There's 31 other locker rooms or facilities right now that thinking, this is our year. This is our year. Buffalo thinks it. Cincinnati with the healthy Joe Burrow thinks it. Jim Harbaugh, the new coach of the Chargers, he thinks it. So on the flip side, the 49ers are going to think they're going to get back. And it's just part of the process. But the Chiefs, you can't rule them out. I'd be reluctant to think that they could three-peat. But then again, until they're out, I guess, you cannot rule Patrick Mahomes out. And they're going to do everything in their power to become a better football team. But I think with Mahomes and a young defense playing the way that they were, and you won the Super Bowl with a mediocre offense, if you will, not his best, I shouldn't say performance by Mahomes, but offensively, this wasn't the team that we think about when we think of the Chiefs. And they still were able to get it done.
Yeah.
This summer when we start our quarterback rankings for each division, the easiest one maybe ever is going to be right there in line with Tom Brady at the top of the AFC East for so long. It's going to be Patrick Mahomes in the AFC West. But that's the rub. The West, it's going to get better. Harbaugh's he's going to get his quarterback play better, but Kansas City won that division this year 3 clear. They may win it next year. They won't win it 3 games clear.
Yeah. We thought that last year. We thought the AFC West was going to be a powerhouse with Russell and Garoppolo and Sean Payton and, McDaniels with the Raiders, and then you have the Chargers and with Herbert, and then you have the Chiefs. But it just never came to fruition. The Chargers went a mess. The Broncos never could really get it going, and the Raiders, late rise with Antonio Pierce as the head coach after McDaniels was fired. So, you had 2 AFC West coaches and Staley and McDaniels lose their job midseason. So definitely not how we worked it out. But I think moving ahead, you got to think it. But, the Broncos got to go back to the well for a quarterback. Most likely Russell Wilson's not going to be back there. You figure the Raiders aren't going to stick with their quarterback from last year. So they're going to have to find a new guy. So, it's going to be a 2-dog race between, the Chargers, I think, and the Chiefs. And there's going to be a lot of momentum, a lot of hype with Harbaugh coming in there. We know he's a great NFL coach, won Super Bowl run, coming off the championship with Michigan, and we know he can coach a football team. So I think that's the fun thing to think about for the Chiefs. Was you kind of had the rule of the roost, but now you got Harbaugh and company coming, and it's going to make that AFC West a little tighter on the top.
Yeah, he's not your run-of-the-mill first-time head coach because he's not, with the 49ers. But in that division, Sean Payton will be in year 2 with Denver, Antonio Pierce and Jim Harbaugh in years 1 with Raiders and Chargers. Pierce came in, as you said, in the middle of the year, but as being the boss. So Andy Reid, you talking about it may be that separation of as big for him as it is for Mahomes.
Yeah, it's a great point, Brett. It really is. It's going to be fun to watch that division. Because you can't ever assume, but you pretty much think with Harbaugh's background and the team that he's inheriting. You thought they were a Super Bowl team last year. That's how good the Chargers are. So he's taken over a team with talent. It's just a matter of putting it together. And Andy Reid, Andy's staff, if you really dig deep into what Andy's been able to do as a head coach in terms of putting key, assistants and coaches and coordinators on that team, I mean, that is a powerhouse staff he has. And if I went down the list, a lot of people are like, wow, but I mean, when you really look at it, I encourage everybody, when we're done, you get time today, go to the Chiefs website and just find out coaching staff and start looking at the background and all the people that he's acquired. And you'll be like, man, this is part of the greatness that is Andy Reid, hiring these guys to kind of help build this dynasty that we're currently in with the Chiefs.
I've got it right here. We know how famous that Spagnuolo is, but the rest of that staff, you go all the way through it. You got a guy like Matt Nagy. You've got Andy Heck at the offensive line.
Wow.
You've got Alex Whittingham, quality control guy that is pretty infamous in NFL circles. Last Friday, Bryant, remember Jason Munns mentioned Todd Pinkston to us. Yeah. You go. That's a great point, Bo. I mean, this staff, and boy, these staffs are huge. But
yeah, Brendan Daly. I mean, yeah, just a
Brendan Daly.
Staff.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a really good staff, and we get caught up in coordinators for the longest time. Bieniemy was the only guy we would talk about, but when you look at that staff, it's really cohesive.
Yeah. Talking to Bo Marchand. He joins us every week to talk the NFL. I mentioned this to Brett and Johnny earlier, but one of the NFL writers over at The Athletic did his way too early 2024 NFL power rankings and has the Dallas Cowboys all the way down at number 11. Bo, please tell me that is way too low.
I don't know. I got to think about. Well, I picked the Cowboys and Chargers for the Super Bowl for you guys, so I figured, I'm going to let Brett piggyback off his pick from last season, so he has a great pick this year.
Can I count it as right?
I mean, hey.
You can count it as right, and then Bryant, you're going to have your favorite team. So I hooked you both up with the great Super Bowl 59.
I love it.
Man, Bo, you just can't believe. I mean, I hated to see it because Bryant's such a fine person. He was just so sad after that Packers game.
I really was.
Well, let me think. Let's see. Let's see. You got Buffalo 1, Miami 2, Baltimore 3. Kansas City 4, San Francisco 5, Lions 6, Cowboys 8, Philly 9. So I would put them around 6 to 9.
I guess it's better.
Green Bay's going to be in there.
Yeah.
I know they beat them in the playoffs, but I'd still, if I had to put my money, I'd still put my money on the Cowboys. That's what the Cowboys do. They snooker you in and they make you believe, and then they're going to go 12-5. And then they're going to be right there in the mix of it, and and the playoffs are going to start, and you're thinking it can't happen again, and probably it does happen again, and then McCarthy's finally gone, and we're back to the square one on who will be the next coach.
Yeah, sounds like the story of my life. Really
hey, it's a good story. Listen, Brian, every fan out there has a story, just
true.
So you know.
That is true.
So, I mean, the only ones that are happy right now is the people in Kansas City.
That's a good
point. That is something. I mean, to be a Cowboy fan, you came along at the most
the worst
inopportune time.
Honestly.
I mean, that's almost hard to do in Cowboy legend and lore.
It is. I blame my father.
Yeah.
What can I say?
Yeah. Well, imagine being a toddler growing up in New England. You think of what they're missing.
Oh,
that's very true.
That 30-year-old in New England, you think from when they were 10 to now, between Red Sox, Bruins, Celtics, Pats, spoiled rotten.
Crazy.
Oh yeah, they're going to have a rude awakening to how the rest of the world actually is. Yeah, they were like royalty for almost, like you said, 2 decades, and now they're going to come back to life. Yeah, but everybody got a story. I mean, Steeler fans are upset. They're miserable. They haven't won. They're tired of being 8-8 or 9-8. That's not sufficient. You got the Browns who they're just hoping to just turn it around and win one time. There's a lot of great franchises out there. I mean, look at the Jets fan. I mean, Aaron Rodgers, really, Monday night, 2 plays and you're done.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of horrific, stories each team could probably say. But
Saints fans talking about getting the bags back out. Come on now, don't have that short of memory. No. But wouldn't it be funny, say this summer, down at 38, down in Florida, and 2 30-year-olds. A Patriot fan meets an Alabama fan, and they start whining to each other about, man, we don't ever win it anymore.
Yeah. Well, and that's the other thing, too. I mean, if you root against those teams, you're not concerned about what you did. It's what you're going to do tomorrow. And, they're going to have to hang their hat on the glory days and talk. But, if you're any one of these other teams, if you're a Lions fan, you're not concerned about anything with the Patriots past. You're saying, hey, we're a better football team right now. You were 4-13. We were 12-5. We're in the NFC Championship. You're picking third in the NFL draft. So,
that's a great point.
So that's what the fans care about.
Bo, that's a great point. San Francisco is the easy answer for this. But what building out there could be saying, we're Chiefs circa 2016, 17. We're doing a lot of things right, and we're eventually going to get there. I know it's the 49ers that can say it. Detroit can say it.
Yeah, they could definitely say it. I mean, they've turned it around. I mean, they've got a good program, and, they're not going anywhere by any means. And Campbell's a heck of a football coach. You got to love his passion. Goff's been, revitalized in that Lions offense. So the Lions are going to be right there. And I think year 3, NFC Championship, and I love Campbell. He said, he didn't retract it by any means, but him telling his team after that game, you might not get back, and you might not. That's what it is. We all assume, all the Eagles assumed that they were going to go back this year and win it. But as you can tell, it's hard, man. It's hard, and even
Life
the 49ers.
happens.
I mean, the 49ers, 2 NFC championships, 1 Super Bowl. To think that they can go back to 3 NFC championships, it's just, sitting here 2 days after the Super Bowl, it seems realistic. But that's just, start going through the history of the league. It is hard to do. What the Chiefs have done, it's on that Belichickian level of
it is
supreme, just dynasty domination. What Mahomes and Andy Reid have done, it's domination, not good domination.
But before we let you go, I do want to ask you about the Steelers. They released a handful of players, including Mitch Trubisky, and it sounds like they are close to bringing in Ryan Tannehill and adding him to that quarterback room. What are your thoughts on them adding a guy like Tannehill to that group?
Yeah, you know what? It doesn't move the needle for me. No. It really doesn't. No. I mean, I just think you're just kind of, I don't know. If Mitchell Trubisky was a 7.5, you're bringing in a 7.7. So
yeah, I got to see them in the same room to know they're different people.
Yeah, I you know what it is? Those type of moves, and you know what it is? It sends a signal to me that they don't want to give up on Pickett.
Right.
But you're entering year 3. And it's different when you're outside the building. You're not working with the guy every day, but it's, to me, even the ideology of that is, I don't know, week 6, are you going to really, either one of those guys, they just don't move the needle for me right now. Now, if they're playing great, I've been wrong enough, and I'll admit it. But right now, when I hear that, I just don't think it's anything that really excites me to think that that's going to put them over with either quarterback, Tannehill or Pickett, where they're going to be considered a powerhouse in the AFC.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. Well, Bo, always fun talking NFL with you, and we'll do it again next week.
Hey, stay safe, gentlemen. Thank you always.
Thanks, Bo.
Thank you, Bo. We will visit with Bo Marchant every week, Tuesday at 5, and next week we formally start, I think, the best offseason of any sport out there, the NFL version of the Hot Stove League. It's the best with draft, with free agency. Well, they do free agency first and then draft.
Yeah, no, plenty. I mean, it done with every league, but you're right. In the NFL, it never slows down. I mean,
did I get that right?
Something.
Does the NFL do free agency first and then draft, or the other way around?
Yeah, it's first, I believe.
It's free agency, then the draft.
That's what I thought.
Thank you.
No, well, it does start. It's free agency, then the draft.
That's right.
So it's always busy, and I know this is the time that Bo really loves kind of all of the free agency
NBA
news.
does draft and then free
That's right.
agency.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
All right, thank you.
it will be a fun off season for sure. Well, before we get to a break, let me remind you of our 5 o'clock sponsor, Hewlett and Dunn Boot and Jean on the historic square in Collierville since 1961. Charles Hall, he started working there in his teens, and now with his wife Laura, they own the place, known for all the boots, but also clothing, accessories, and a cap for any team in any season. They've got you covered with Western wear, but they're also known for the boots, work boots, safety toe, soft toe, rubber boots, boots for every single occasion you can find at Hewlett and Dunn. And from head to toe, they have you covered with every brand imaginable, whether it's Ariat, Dan Post, Anderson Bean, and they've got it for men or women and all sorts of different clothing options like jeans, pants, shirts, shorts, outerwear, and the best duck head collection you'll find. Charles and Laura Hall invite you to 111 North Center Street on the square in Collierville or to their website, hewlettdunn.com. Make sure you head out there for your accessories like hats, sunglasses, boot care products in every area, team snapback, and cool hat you can think of. Whether it's the Tigers, Mississippi State, UT, Ole Miss, or the Razorbacks, they've got it for travel. The bag selection is top notch. HewlettDunn.com, but please head out to Collierville, stop in, say hello at 111 North Center Street on the square out in Collierville at Hewlett and Dunn. Well, let's go ahead and get to a break. When we come back, we'll talk about what's trending.
You already know you can listen to Sports 56 anywhere with the Sports 56 app or at sports56whbq.com. But you can also watch us daily with live video of all of our shows on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch.
When you're hunting for small game or big game or thinking of selling your home, think about Sheldon Rosengarten and you Mallory.
That's right, Sheldon. We're with Mark Spensdorf Realtors, and while I'm often successful when I go hunting, I heard you're such a lousy golfer they've banned you from some courses.
Very funny, you. I may be a horrible golfer, but I have a highly successful strategic marketing program with the famous Shellbucks option that takes up most of my practice time. My clients would much rather see me sell their home than hit a hole-in-one.
Sheldon, you're normally about 5 strokes away from a hole-in-one. That's on a par 3.
Yeah. Remember, don't tee off with any agent. Talk to 2 or 3 and let you, Mallory, and me be one of them. Remember what people often say, when you want the job done, call Sheldon. And Mallory Moves Memphis. That's Sheldon Rosengarten and you, Mallory, at 682-1868 or memphisrelocate.com. Do it now, 682-1868 or memphisrelocate.com.
We all appreciate luxury. We love the newest technology. We want something that sparkles and looks great. Well, I've got it all in one place. It's called Genesis of Olive Branch, right at the corner of Highway 78, that's Lamar, and the first exit in Mississippi, that's Craft Road. Turn left and you will see Genesis of Olive Branch. And right now, you can get the 2024 Genesis GV70 starting at $49,480 with special financing as low as 3.49% on select models. How about the 2024 Genesis GV80? A little bit bigger, starting at $55,995, financing as low as 5.49% with a $2,000 rebate when trading a luxury brand. Call them. They'll even bring you a Genesis at your work or your home for a test drive. They're convinced that when you drive a Genesis, you're going to want one. Call 662-890-6684. Ask for Vinny. Genesis of Olive Branch.
If you need glass replaced, there's only one name you need to know. Binswanger Glass, the largest full-service glass company in the U.S. They've been an industry leader for over 145 years. For all your residential, commercial, or auto glass needs, Binswanger Glass is the name you need to know. 24-hour emergency service for all commercial customers, plus a nationwide warranty on all professionally installed glass. Visit Binswanger Glass in Midtown at 340 South Hollywood across from the Liberty Bowl. Visit binswingerglass.com. Binswanger Glass.
They say you can't pick the best barbecue in Memphis.
Who is they?
The people that say things.
Like what?
Well, that you can't pick the best barbecue in Memphis.
Well, that's ridiculous. It's Central Barbecue.
Well, I'm telling you, these people said that you can't even say Central Barbecue is the best barbecue in Memphis.
But it is. There's no better slow-smoked, perfectly cooked barbecue in Memphis or anywhere else.
Look, I'm just saying that they say...
What else did they say?
Well, that the earth is flat.
You have got to get off of social media.
That's what they say as well.
Around here at Wrangler, we are all excited for spring. The longer days, the warmer nights. When you've got your pick of shorts and jeans, either works just fine. Blue skies, open roads. Wrangler, for the ride of life.
Sports 56 traffic.
Clearing stages that remains heavy on 240 East, passing Poplar up to Walnut Grove. A lot of that traffic's trying to get off Sam Cooper there on back onto the interstate as that traffic really starts to crank up with volume now. Here we go, 40 East from Sycamore View Road all the way out to Germantown Parkway. It's pretty busy also on 240 East from Mill Branch out to Billmore's Parkway. A 24/7 reliable crane and rigging services right here in Memphis. It's Tomahawk Crane and Rigging. They're online at tomahawkcrane.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Now, back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Hewlett & Dunn, Boot and Jean Company in Collierville. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Welcome back into Sports Time. Bryant and Brett with you as we've got about 30 minutes left in today's show. And Brett, after the national championship game in football, we went back and looked at the preseason magazines and saw where, what they had preseason.
And they had a pretty good preseason.
They did them pretty good. You have
USC nicked up a lot of people.
Yes, that got a lot of people. You have the NFL magazine. And so let's go through. I'm curious what they had preseason this year in the NFL.
And this column written in Lindy's magazine that I bought in early June over at Novel Bookstore, and I do too. I love Novel. Have you eaten in the restaurant at Novel?
I've not. I've heard it's really good. I've not.
Outstanding.
I've got to try it out.
I'm telling you, their loaded cheeseburger.
Ooh, that sounds good. It always smells great. I mean, I can't even read the books when I'm in there because it smells so good. But no, I've not tried. I need to.
So, and the author of this is Howard Balzer, who is just one of the great NFL reporters ever. I mean, up there with Mr. Z that used to be in Sports Illustrated and many others. And Howard Balzer, I don't know him really at all. Well, I know him. He doesn't know me at all. But Rob Fisher and Eli Savoy both know him really well and did a lot of radio and work with him in St. Louis. And he's Mr. St. Louis, and he knows this league. So he was the author of this. He didn't miss by much. The top of the story read, the AFC will remain the dominant conference. Well, it did.
Sure did.
I don't think there's any doubt about that. In the NFC, he had Philadelphia winning the East, Detroit winning the North, New Orleans the South. I mean, that NFC South gets people every year. Had San Francisco winning the West. He had wild cards, Dallas, Seattle, Minnesota. Kirk Cousins doesn't get hurt.
Absolutely.
Who knows?
Exactly.
In the AFC, had Buffalo winning the East, Baltimore the North, Jacksonville the South, Kansas City the West. Pretty good.
Yeah, pretty good.
Houston slipped in there. He had Houston second. He had wild cards in the AFC as Cincinnati, the Burrow injury, my Chargers, and everybody's Jets. So if USC nicked up everybody in the preseason college football magazines, we know the Jets took a pound of flesh out of everybody.
Oh, absolutely.
His NFC championship game, Philadelphia and San Francisco. Wow. Well, at Thanksgiving, everyone would have bet that.
Oh, absolutely.
And the collapse of Philadelphia was just epic.
Easily.
AFC championship, Kansas City and Buffalo.
Wow.
Buffalo's one of those sick teams today.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Easily.
And when to closing.
Well, and Brett, it feels
closed maybe.
It feels like every year we have this. The past 3 or 4 years, we've had the same conversation of the Bills. Is well, it's got to be this year. If it's not this year, this is the year they break through, and it's never that year. And so, absolutely, they're kicking themselves this week, saying we really should have probably been there.
Howard Super Bowl pick, Howard Balzer, the great Howard Balzer. His Super Bowl pick, Super Bowl 58 in Sin City, the 49ers keep the Bills from winning it all. Wow. He didn't miss much.
He did not miss by much at all.
That's a heck of a lot better than picking the Chargers.
Sure is. No, that's
Well, he knows
good.
more about it than I do.
Well, yeah.
No surprise.
No surprise at all. No, that's pretty good. I mean, that's not bad at all. I'm surprised.
Brian, yesterday I mentioned with the Chiefs wins, it keeps the different teams in the 21st century at 13. Here are the teams to have won it in the 21st century. Baltimore, they have 2. New England, 6. Tampa Bay, 2. Pittsburgh, 2. Indianapolis, 1. Giants, 2. New Orleans, 1. Green Bay, 1. Seattle, 1. Denver, 1 time. Philadelphia, 1 time. The Rams, 1 time. And Kansas City, 3 times. There are 3 obvious teams that in the history of the NFL that are not in that. Your Cowboys, no doubt.
Yep.
Dallas, no doubt. San Francisco, that's been really close, but windows not closed or closing for San Francisco. And the Raiders.
That's a good one with the Raiders, certainly, because they've had some teams that you would think would get there, and of course San Francisco and Dallas are kind of the two that everyone groups together and talks about a lot because of kind of those two dynasties and what those teams have been for a really long time. And obviously, one of those teams that just had a Super Bowl appearance has had that success and has had a really strong team and has been in a couple of Super Bowls. On the other side, the Cowboys, I mean, you got to start making progress in the playoffs. I mean, it can't just be a wild card exit every single year or second round exit every single year. They got to start doing some damage in postseason play.
They do. Again, we always said for Dak is get to an NFC Championship, and we're not saying Super Bowl or bust. And next year that'll be that again. 4 teams, famously 4 teams. Never to have made a Super Bowl. Cleveland and Detroit, 2 longtime teams, and Jacksonville and Houston, not very long.
Yeah.
All those have a chance next year
Absolutely.
to be right back firmly in any playoff going for it mix. It would be, of those 4, which one do you think can go the deepest right now? Way, way, way too early predictions of those 4 that's never made it.
Way too early. Okay, so Cleveland, Detroit, Jacksonville. Who's the 4th team?
Houston.
Houston. I would say Detroit. I would probably say Detroit.
I would too, and they almost need to have it up in their building.
Yeah.
We can't let this window happen to us that's happened to Buffalo.
No, not at all. Because, I mean, this has been the team where, last year it seemed like they were that kind of plucky underdog that you could root for, and, they were fun to watch whenever you got to catch them. This year it turned into, oh, okay, these guys are legit. This team is for real, and you want to be able to take advantage of that and not have that door slam in your face too early. I think right behind them would probably be Cleveland. I think, you get Deshaun back this year from injury, and what can he do for you at quarterback? They've got an unbelievable defense. It's just trying to get that offense going. And then, honestly, Brett, I'll be honest, it's hard for that 3rd spot out of those 4 teams, but with what Houston showed this year,
C.J. Stroud,
you could make a great argument that Jacksonville would be 4th in this group, which if you said the same thing last offseason, you'd be laughed at.
And that's Doug Peterson, a Super Bowl winning coach, and Trevor Lawrence that we all are still big on, but I would too. I would go with C.J. Stroud. And remember, I was going over quarterbacks for schools that have never had a quarterback in a Super Bowl. C.J. Stroud could be the first Buckeye to get there.
Yeah, hard to believe. But
every time I say it, I want to go recheck
it. It's crazy. And we talk about the kind of, especially in recent history, kind of the, these quarterbacks that are great at Ohio State, they come to the NFL and can't really get it done. And now C.J. Stroud, something happens. I don't know what it is. And for some reason, we are now judging quarterbacks like C.J. Stroud in that pre-draft process of, he's an Ohio State guy. Can you really trust him at quarterback? C.J. Stroud has proven everybody wrong in his rookie year, and if he can make a jump next year, I mean, it's going to be an incredible season for him.
And the Buckeyes program, it's great, but they had some that were really good there, like a Joe Germain and a Craig Krenzel that were never NFL types. And then I do not mean, I mean this ruefully, sadly. I mean with sorrow. They've had everything from Haskins to Art Schlichter disasters in the NFL happen.
No, they absolutely have, and so it's fun to see what C.J. Stroud has done as a rookie, and I think a lot of success not just for him, but DeMeco Ryans. I mean, the first season he had as head coach for the Texans, I think you could find people that would say, yeah, he'll be successful, he'll be good. I don't know if people expected all of this in year one, and as he continues to develop as a head coach, I mean, I'm really excited at what this Texans team can be next year and in a couple of years.
The college football list, that 13 different winners in 21st century, jumps out at you that Notre Dame hadn't. Next is probably Penn State or Tennessee.
Yeah, Penn State certainly, Tennessee, another one in there, but Notre Dame is definitely the one that jumps off the page, and out of those three, I mean, who do you have the most faith in it to get to it next, or the first one out of those three?
Penn State.
Yeah, Penn State, but
they better do it fast. They got the Bills' win to shut him.
They do, and it seems like these past 2 or 3 years, Penn State, as much as I love them, we talk about them a lot, seems like when they get to those big games,
they're going to disappoint you.
Yeah, they just don't show up for those big games.
They don't, and I say those teams because they've done it. They Tennessee won it 98.
Yeah.
For Penn State, last won it 90. Well, with Joe Pod, Penn State hadn't won it in a while. They hadn't since '87. Notre Dame hadn't won it since '88.
Crazy.
And before that, '77.
Wow. Long time.
Notre Dame.
Hard to believe.
And I don't think anybody thinks they're winning it anytime soon.
No.
Playoffs make it harder for Notre Dame.
Oh, 100%.
Makes it easier for some.
But not Notre Dame. It makes it harder for Notre Dame. And it seems like that window has closed for Notre Dame for at least this kind of time being. And so, I don't know. I think Penn State certainly, maybe you got something in Nico there. I know a lot of my friends are excited at what Nico can do. And maybe Tennessee and next year or the year after can do something. I don't know.
Look, I love every season, but I'm gonna toss the NFL magazine. I look forward to going to Novel and having lunch and stocking up on magazines sometime in June.
Yes, that is a tradition unlike any other. Is when July rolls around and those magazines come out for print and you go grab them and you're trying to ask my favorite is when I go to like Novel or Barnes & Noble and like the section they're supposed to be like, I know where they're supposed to be and they're not there, and then I have to go around asking people who very clearly are probably not the most sporty people, hey, where is your...
They may know where Grapes of Wrath is located.
Exactly. And I'm like, hey, do you know where your Lindy's college football preview magazine is? And they look at me like I'm crazy. And then they have to go ask somebody else. And then I'm there for like 20 minutes just trying to find one magazine.
It's a good place, though. But
it's a time.
And Bo Marchand unwittingly walked into today. One of the reasons why I like to keep it at the ready is having the list of the full staff and like the chief staff he referenced today.
Yeah, and it's really good staff. I mean, in all
I can
over
get
the
to
place.
that faster than I can on the internet.
Sure can. It's right there in front of you. That's why those are so handy, and that's why we kind of keep them stacked up on the desk at the beginning of the year to make sure we have all of this information. Well, let's go ahead and get to our final break. When we come back, we'll wrap up today's show at Taco Bell Crunch Time.
Start your day with Sports 56 Mornings with Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy. Weekday mornings from 7 to 10, right here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Join the Heindel Center for the Performing Arts for an evening with Cal Ripken Jr. February 22nd and celebrate a true champion. Ironman Cal Ripken Jr. played 2,632 consecutive games for the Baltimore Orioles. This 19-time All-Star, 2-time American League MVP, and Baseball Hall of Fame inductee is a true baseball icon. Get tickets at HeindelCenter.org to see Cal Ripken Jr. 7:30 p.m. Thursday, February 22nd at the Heindel Center for the Performing Arts on the campus of Northwest Mississippi Community College in Senatobia.
All 650 acquisition fee. Forte RE722-812, MSRP 21,590. Sorrento PG 242710, MSRP 33,010. Telluride RG 462-822, MSRP 38,705. Includes all rebates and incentives. Must finance through Hyundai. Excludes tax, title, and license. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 2/29/24 with approved credit. Dealer stock only.
Hey, Jeff Allen, you ready to get this party started at Gossett Kia South Mount Moriah?
You bet I am, Randy. Gossett's got your new Kia that gets 41 MPG highway. 2024 Kia Forte LXS, $239 a month. $27.99 due at signing. Need extra room? How about a 2023 Kia Sorrento LX at $319 a month, $34.99 due at signing, and a 2024 Kia Telluride S all-wheel drive, $459 a month, $34.99 due at signing, all 36-month lease.
Plus, get peace of mind because with every Gossett Kia, you get a 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty.
So whether you live in Horn Lake, South Haven, Olive Branch, or Memphis, you'll be happy at Gossett Kia on Mount Moriah.
2680 Mount Moriah or online, KiaMountMoriah.com.
Getting your guaranteed maximum refund with TaxSlayer feels like discovering a refund tree has grown in your backyard.
I'm the refund tree.
Sawing off its branches.
Hey.
Feeding them through a wood chipper.
My branches! My beautiful branches!
And dancing in its refund rain. Start for free and get your guaranteed maximum refund. TaxSlayer. File fearlessly.
Hewlett & Dunn Boot and Clothing Company, we have it all. From handmade Amish leather belts, fine and casual clothing, boots, casual boots, work boots, fancy boots, and even safety-toed boots. Lots of cowboy hats to choose from, even Nebo lights, good-looking duck head dress shirts, duck head caps, shorts, and pants. Tons of jeans from Ariat, Wrangler, Devil Dog, and Kimes Ranch jeans. At Hewlett & Dunn, we have a great selection of Old South t-shirts and caps. Fine clothing from dress to casual to Sunday best. Enjoy choosing from UFO's orthopedic-approved shoes. Hewlett & Dunn Boot and Clothing Company. Boots of every size, every color, every skin. Great quality Western, work, and safety toe boots. Hewlett & Dunn Boots and Clothing Company. 111 North Center Street, Collierville. Hewlett & Dunn. Hewlett & Dunn, serving you and your family since 1961.
Grind don't stop. Join Jaron, Gigi, and your Memphis Grizzlies tomorrow at 7 p.m. when your Grizzlies host the Houston Rockets. It's time to get loud, rally the squad, and show your grit. Get hyped, get ready for an epic matchup, and secure your tickets today by visiting Grizzlies.com.
Now, back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Hewlett & Dunn Boot and Jean Company in Collierville. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
This is pretty cool, and we're just getting started, so...
Go crazy, folks! Go crazy!
This is for all the biggest crunch time.
You are looking live. In your life have you seen anything like that? Goodbye! Hello, Haskins.
It's obviously crunch time.
Hammer, nail, coffin. This baby is over.
The double steak grilled cheese burrito, so good. Double the steak with nacho cheese sauce, seasoned rice, red strips, sour cream, and the 3-cheese blend wrapped inside a warm flour tortilla, with even more 3-cheese blend grilled on the top. The double steak grilled cheese burrito, it hits the spot now at Taco Bell. And at Taco Bell, when they say they are feeding people's lives with unexpected good, they mean it. Bowl food you can't get anywhere else.
Well, Brett, what I learned today, I really learned it yesterday, but it was after our show before I could really read up on it, take a good look at it. But Tiger Woods' new brand, new clothing brand, Sunday Red. Not Sunday Red, Sun, Space, Day, Space, Red. There's been a lot of people who have talked about it, a lot of people who dislike it, some people who like it. I've got to say, I'm one of the people that likes it. I kind of dig the logo, the little tiger. I kind of dig it, and I think their first line of clothes and accessories is going to drop on May 1st. I'm going to try to get my hands on a hoodie. That's what I'm looking for. I like it. There's the tailor-made. This is partnership with TaylorMade. The TaylorMade president was asked about why the spaces between Sunday red, and he said, well, Sunday red is obviously a color that is traditionally known with Tiger Woods for his play on Sundays, but he plays golf on other days than just Sunday. And then supposedly there's sun stands for him being out in the sun all day practicing. Day is how, he plays golf during the day, and red, it's very strange, but, whatever. I kind of like it.
I hope he's playing on Sunday at Riviera this Sunday,
yes.
And if he is, I hope everything works for him. Foot, ankle, knees, back, shoulders. High of 60, low of 52 at Riviera on Sunday. That's not ideal for Tiger Woods' body at this stage in his career. What I learned, the Tigers can't get swept in Texas. Talking to Dave about it, we talked extensively about it at 4:30, going over the schedule and the rest of the year. If they do, then they must win out and at least get to AAC finals. I can't find much good news out there in the bracketology metrics, whether it's Ken Palm or Joey Brackets or Warren Nolan or Marcus Nolan or Joe Jones or Bob Smith. There's not much good news out there.
No, there really isn't. And you're right, Tigers got to get some winning done down in Texas this week. What I could have done without baseball season right around the corner, most pitchers and catchers report tomorrow or the next day for the Cardinals. A lot of guys already down there getting ready. But, Brett, have you seen the new jerseys that players will be wearing this year?
The City Connect jerseys?
No, not the City Connect jerseys. We have not seen the City Connect jerseys, but this year, I believe now MLB
for the
partnered
Cardinals?
with Fanatics. Yes, so just the regular standard white jerseys. They're going to look a little different this year. Maybe Nike. I'm not sure if they're actual Fanatics or Nike.
What's wrong with birds on it? Two birds on one back.
Oh, it's nothing wrong with that. On the back, Brett, the MLB logo's a little shifted down. The letters are more curved than kind of straight across. I'm not going to lie, Brett. I'll send you these pictures. I hate it. I think they look awful. And it's not just the Cardinals. It's every team. I saw someone post Cardinals and Mariner jerseys because I guess those are the only leaks we have right now, side by side. And
what's wrong with the old ones?
Literally nothing. The old ones look so good. I'm about to send them to you, Brett, so you can take a look at them. I hate them. I don't even need to see them on a player. I hate them.
Oh, no. I could have done without that. I could have done without the AAC being ranked 10th strength of schedule in conferences behind the Valley and barely ahead of the Ivy. It's a really bad league that only looks better when they play each other, I'm afraid. Who's the second weekend team out of this league? Who wins even a game? Yeah. And even FAU feels shaky right now.
Yeah, no, it certainly does. Where are you beaming tonight?
Beam me to Rupp Arena. I've never been to a game there, but I would love to go.
Yeah.
I've been by Rupp Arena, but I've never been inside. Kentucky, losers of 3 straight for the first time ever at Rupp Arena. It opened in 1976. Tonight would be an unthinkable 4 in a row for Big Blue. Ole Miss is due, I would say, since 1998. If Kentucky loses, the very real specter exists of Big Blue not going to the NCAA tournament.
Oh man, that would be a different, very, very different for sure. Beam me tonight.
I don't hate them.
Really,
the jerseys. I don't.
Can't stand them.
Let me go in. Now, right on my hate meter. That doesn't do it.
Oh, it's high for me. I don't like it. Just visually.
Which one did you detest the most? The Seattle or the St. Louis? I didn't mind either, Brian.
It just seems
and I thought I'd lose my mind
Brett,
over
it just seems like everything's like in the middle of the jersey instead of being kind of up top. Like it just seems like everything's.
Oh, okay, I see that
middle.
now. Okay,
I just don't like the spacing on it. The spacing.
You let the Cardinals start 6 and 17, and I'll hate them.
That's a really, really good point, Brett. Being me tonight, I may be a little off the wall here, but I will go to Cincinnati for Iowa State at Cincinnati tonight on ESPN2. Iowa State on the road.
Wait, what's Iowa State playing a Metro Conference game this time of year for? Oh, that's
Great
right,
question.
Big 12.
Great question, Brett. No, but a really good Iowa State team, third in defensive metrics on KenPom, but since Cincinnati has been surprising teams, especially when they're playing on their home court. Should be a really fun game tonight.
See, I liked that little coach for Cincinnati last year when he came through here.
Yeah, he's really
lost
good.
A heartbreaker here. And I thought he was putting something together. I'm going to watch a lot tonight. OU at Baylor in the Big 12. That's matchup of 2 top 25 teams. Tulsa at USF in the AAC. If Tulsa pulls the upset, then I'm convinced this league's not very good. I'm already convinced. LSU at Florida in the SEC, 6 NBA games. Sacramento at Phoenix. That would be 6 seed. Phoenix right now hosting 7 seed Sacramento. The West is going to be wild, and that was a great win last night for Minnesota on the road over the Clippers.
Yeah, no, you're right. Some good NBA games, I think, tonight as well, on top of the Super Tuesday that we have in college basketball. And I'll be honest, Brad, I've been looking at this all day. Might I just let people know we could do a Kings parlay tonight? You get the Sacramento Kings plus 5.5 against the Suns tonight, late night on TNT. Also, the Los Angeles Kings in hockey playing tonight on the road. Maybe a Kings parlay out there.
I
don't know.
love it.
Just saying.
Good luck.
Just saying.
Don't spend it all in one place.
No, I will certainly not do that. But that is all the time we have today. Enjoy your night. Enjoy these basketball games. Really should be a good slate of games. But let's go ahead and wrap up today's show, and we will talk back with you tomorrow afternoon at 3 o'clock.
And Bryant Dacus.
It's time to get thunderstruck during Gossett Mitsubishi's spring sales event at Gossett Mitsubishi on the Pike. Ready to get 43